Two teams meeting tonight with opposing interests in this ball game. The Barnstormers are trying to stay ahead. The Long Island Ducks are trying to stay close in their respective divisions. As play opens tonight, following a 7-3 Lancaster Barnstormers victory here last night, the Barnstormers own a 1.5 game lead over the Sugar Land Skeeters in the Freedom Division race. The Skeeters are merely 26 miles away, opening a 3-game weekend series against the York Revolution. The Barnstormers with a very vested interest there. Meanwhile, the Long Island Ducks have slipped to 3.5 games behind the Somerset Patriots in the Liberty Division. Somerset hosting the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs in a 3-game weekend series beginning tonight. Somerset already owns the tiebreaker in that race. The Ducks need to reel off some victories in the reasonably near future. Nobody better to do it for the Long Island Ducks tonight than the top pitcher in the Atlantic League so far this year. Long Island left-hander Bennett Perry comes in at 3-0 with a 1.85 earned run average, a league-leading total of 69 strikeouts in just 48 2/3 innings. To counter him, the Barnstormers tonight have right-hander Joe Gardner. Gardner is 3-3. His ERA is 4.57. You get what you get out of Joe. 6 innings, 2 or 3 runs. He gave up a few more than that, though. Last weekend against the Ducks, he gave up a couple of 2-run home runs, and the Ducks beat him 6-5. Perry shut the Barnstormers down on Sunday afternoon. Lancaster, though, rallied against the Long Island bullpen and pulled out an exciting 4-3 game. One thing we do know, whenever these two ball clubs get together, as Vladimir Frias will put it on the Dugout Report coming up next, they bring their A game. Some of the most entertaining baseball we've watched this entire season, the 7 times the Barnstormers have taken on the Long Island Ducks. Lancaster's won 4 out of those 7 meetings. And yes, Vladimir is my guest tonight as we roll along with the Gockenauer Home Appliances Dugout Report. We'll be back with Vlad right after this.
Like craft beers, local wines? Well, the best place to be in Lancaster then is Clipper Magazine Stadium. That's right, all new for 2018 is the Broken Bat deck down the right field line. The Broken Bat will feature more than 20 local craft breweries and product from 2 local wineries. If something with a little more kick is your adult beverage of choice, a local distillery is part of the Broken Bat as well. Food will be sold off a pub-style menu, so get together, hang out with your friends, make some new ones, and enjoy a night of craft beer sampling along with a Barnstormers game.
Hi everyone, Adam Gockenauer here for Gockenauer Appliances in East Petersburg. We are as excited as you that it's baseball season, and we are thrilled to once again be partnering with your Lancaster Barnstormers. We are also excited this season to introduce some awesome new appliance colors on display now. Come and see the new colors of slate, black stainless, and black slate. These colors will give your kitchen a great look, and of course all of them are at the best prices around now at Gockenauer's. I'll be back after the break to tell you about our special Barnstormers summer promotions.
Welcome back to this edition of the Gockenauer Home Appliances Dugout Report. Joining me is Barnstormer shortstop Vladimir Frias. And Vlad, you've been fun to watch play this year. You are having a great year. You got to be happy with the way things are going.
Yeah. First of all, thank God everything is going so far so good. I can't complain. I'm really blessed for whatever's happening right now. The team is playing really good. Me personally playing fairly decent. So I guess everything is just fine right now.
Yeah, the last time we chatted was last year, the day your contract was purchased by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Tell us a little bit about your time in their organization at the end of last year.
I really had fun. I was really appreciated for the opportunity they gave me. Things didn't work out the way I wanted to coming back to the to this season. But I'm back here, and I'm happy to be here, and hopefully somebody else can give me another chance.
Well, you got your first taste of AAA last year, and you did pretty well with it.
Yeah, I did pretty good, man. Thank God everything went well. I had a good time, I had fun, and I had the chance to meet new people and really nice guys up there.
Yeah, this year you're locked in at shortstop just about every day. You did get a night off, a couple of nights back. I know you love playing every day, but was that night off something you needed, or you certainly came back and had a heck of a game last night?
Every now and then it's good to have a day off or whatever. It wasn't that I asked for or I chose to. That was, skipper choice. You know, you gotta go with that. But every now and then, you know, your body needs a little rest or whatever. But you know, I'm ready. I'm always ready to be out there 100% every day, 140 games. So I don't really. It doesn't matter to me if I'm there every day or whatever. Just whenever the team needs me.
You've had a lot of different double play partners this year. You've gone through Rico and Carlos and Tyler. They've all been out there. Is it difficult switching back and forth from one to another on almost a daily basis?
It might be a little bit every now and then, because usually when you're getting used to one guy and then another guy comes in, not everybody's the same. Some guys have different tendencies, but I feel like it's about the same. I mean, they gotta be able to make the plays, and just be able to make the play. Just, I guess it can be a little hard, but it's part of the game. Sometimes you just gotta go with the flow and just get the job done. Whoever is in there.
Yeah, last year you had a decent season at the plate here. This year, just from almost like the first game of spring training, especially left-handed, you seem really locked in. Is there a difference in your approach between last year and this year?
I don't know, man. I'm just going out there and having fun. I really worked my butt off during the off season. I worked a lot. And I guess all my hard work is paying off. Two moments on this homestand. You made a great play up the middle against Somerset the other night. You had a 2-run home run last night. If you were to pick one highlight from this homestand, which play would it be? It's 50-50, I think. I mean, because I like to be able to, to contribute for the team either way, defense or offensively. But every time you hit a homer, it's pretty nice because, I'm always being known for my defense. Sometimes I make good plays and I don't even get no love from my teammates when I get back on the dugout because I feel like they think I have to make every play. It don't matter how hard they are, but I guess it's 50-50, but every now and then I trade a good play for a homer. Well, Vlad, thanks for taking time out tonight to get the chance to take on the Ducks once again. Every game against them we've played this year has been an all-out war. Some of the best baseball we've seen all year has been when Lancaster and Long Island get together. So good luck in this, and obviously the next 2 weeks are very important for our ball club. Oh, yeah. Hopefully everything works out, and you said it, every time we face these guys, it's like a war. It's like World War III. These guys they're ready to play, and they always bring their A game against us, and we're always ready for the challenge. Vladimir Frias joining me tonight on the Gockenauer Home Appliances Dugout Report. I'll be back with the starting lineups in a moment right here on the Lancaster Barnstormers YouTube channel.
Adam Gockenauer back with you again to tell you that we are back this season with Weber Gas Grills. We have the best selection and prices in the area on Weber, and if you mention this ad, you will receive 10% off all in-stock Weber accessories. Don't forget, we also fill your propane tanks here at the store. Don't waste money on exchanges when you can have us fill your tank and save you money. We are your appliance and gas grill headquarters. Come see us today on Main Street in East Petersburg or on the web at Gockenauers.com.
I'm a chef. Pleasing my patrons' palates is paradise. But lately, when I hear a cheer from the dining room, it's Keno from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Sure, it could be my veggie lasagna, but chances are it's customers picking numbers to win cash with drawings every 4 minutes. Keno's fun, exciting, and you can enjoy it as an appetizer or a main course. Hey, everything tastes better with winning. Keno, it's here. Played at your favorite bar or restaurant.
Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Welcome back from Clipper Magazine Stadium along with Andrew Mossbrooks, Dave Collins with you. We've had some light showers pass through the area. We should be good for getting tonight's game in uninterrupted. For the visiting Long Island Ducks this evening, Jordani Valdespin will be leading off and playing second base. The center fielder hitting number 2 is Emilio Bonifacio. Travis Snyder is in right field batting third. And the cleanup hitter, the all-time Barnstormers pain in the side, Lou Ford. He will be the DH tonight. David Washington moves out to left field. He will bat fifth. The first baseman hitting sixth is Taylor Ard. Cody Puckett will make the start at third base. He is batting seventh. Audi Affinier is the catcher. He returns to action for the first time in quite a while. He is batting in the number 8 slot, and Dan Lyons will be the shortstop batting ninth for Kevin Baez and the Long Island Ducks tonight. Bennett Perry gets the start. He has been the sensation for the Ducks this year. 3-0 his record, a 1.85 ERA, 69 strikeouts in 48 2/3 innings. Has he been to the major leagues? No, he topped out at single A in the Baltimore Orioles organization. But within that, if you look at those numbers within the numbers, there is a lot of promise there, and he has blossomed here in the Atlantic League. For the Barnstormers this evening, Darian Sanford will be leading off in center. Blake Galen on quite a tear as the right fielder batting number 2. Ryan Castile is doing the catching. He is batting third. Trayvon Robinson will swing in the cleanup spot tonight. He will play left field. Casey Hobson, the first baseman, is batting fifth. Nate Coronado will be the DH. He is batting number 6. The shortstop hitting seventh is Vladimir Frias. It is Carlos Garcia batting eighth at third base. Tyler Bortnick is the second baseman and in the number 9 slot. The Atlantic League veteran Joe Gardner on the hill for the Barnstormers this evening. He is looking for his 22nd Barnstormers victory in his career, which would tie him with Nate Reed and a couple of others for 5th place on the all-time Barnstormers wins list. Gardner this year is 3-3. His earned run average is 4.57. The Barnstormers and Long Island Ducks will be back with play-by-play baseball in a moment here on the Lancaster Barnstormers YouTube channel.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that will bring your baseball memories to life. Find stories that will inspire and surprise. Cooperstown is where you, your family, and your friends can relive baseball's greatest moments in honor of the all-time greats of the game. See all that the Hall of Fame and Museum has to offer and plan your family visit today at baseballhall.org.
Return to school with the amazing support of the Solanco family at Swift Middle School. Cancer treatments continued with chemotherapy for about 9 months, with many days and nights spent at CHOP under the care of the oncology team. This spring, Owen found the strength to rejoin his Solanco Little League team, where baseball became an important part of his healing process. All along the way, Owen has truly been a warrior, showing his courage and kindness and becoming an inspiration to those around him. We are very excited to celebrate as Owen has just completed his cancer chemotherapy treatments. And in honor of Owen's completion of his chemotherapy treatments, the Barnstormers team has joined him on the mound to ring the ceremonial bells. Owen, it is your pitch. Great job. Let's hear it for Owen.
Very touching moment at Clipper Magazine Stadium here this evening. You heard the story as told by stadium announcer John Whitwer. Owen Brazelton finishing his treatments for brain cancer and joined at the mound for ceremonial pitch by the entire Lancaster Barnstormers ball club. And what a moment that has to be in the life of a young man who has had a battle for his life and can appreciate now every moments just like this.
And I think one of the things when people talk about loving sports is the game, and you can talk about the fans, and you can talk about the atmosphere, but part of all that comes with the community of the games. And, I come from a tradition of hockey, but you see it here in baseball too, and across all sports. This is a tight-knit community of guys that come together and support people that go through the rough times. And when you come back, and we saw it in hockey with the Humboldt Broncos, that junior team that had that tragic bus crash over the winter this past year, these communities come together and they make these guys feel appreciated, as they should be, for their battles that they have somehow been able to overcome. Absolute credit in the world goes to Owen, and hopefully this was a terrific moment for him today.
Barnstormers taking on the Long Island Ducks here this evening. This is the second game out of 4. Lancaster with a very fundamentally solid 7-3 victory last night, and that was spearheaded by a quality start from Brooks Hall. And Hall did something that's very difficult for a pitcher to do in this ballpark, and that is shake off a couple of home runs up onto the picnic deck. But that's pretty much all he allowed last night. He didn't let it intimidate him at all. He didn't walk anybody along the way last night. Outside of those 2 solo home runs, was never really in much trouble against the Ducks. The Barnstormers hit 2 of those home runs as well. They both had a runner on ahead of them, and Lancaster was able to add a couple of more RBI singles along the way. A very nicely played 7-3 victory for the Barnstormers last night. Not only a good fundamental game, but also a quick one with both Hall and Matt Larkins out there throwing strikes throughout the ball game. That game last night did not languish at all. It was completed in 2 hours and 31 minutes. And if you want to talk about pace of play and baseball, it's entertaining for the fans. Last night was it.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and one of the things that you talked about, as did Vladimir Frias in our pre-show today, is just the World War III, the competitiveness these two teams have between each other. Cross-division, the Liberty versus the Freedom, but both teams are battling, and you mentioned at the top here for different reasons. Lancaster to hold on, Long Island to get in and jump over the Patriots. This is by no means as far and as well as the Barnstormers have done coming into Game 50 of the season tonight. There is still much to be done before we hit the midway point. There's a lot going on this weekend. There's a lot going on next week against Sugarland Skeeters. A big series, and you've already got 1 of 4 games, but a big series win against the Long Island Ducks could maybe be what pushed the Barnstormers over the hump and into legitimate playoff guarantees.
Right now, what the Barnstormers need is help from the York Revolution. If York can win 3 out of 6 from Sugarland over these next 2 series when they get together, it will help the Barnstormers immensely. Right now, we're sending it down to the field and the introduction of our colors and then the national anthem.
Here to perform God Bless America, please welcome the Akron Community Singers. And now we ask that you please remove your hats. Veterans are invited to salute the flag as we honor the United States of America and our nation's flag. Here to perform the national anthem, Molly Neal.
What's so proud?
Molly Neal.
Very nicely done, our national anthem this evening here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, and now we'll fall silent and allow our colors to be retired.
Thank you.
The Lancaster Barnstormers taking on the Long Island Ducks this evening under cloudy skies with an occasional drizzle here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. This game really isn't being threatened by the weather. We, barring the unforeseen, should be able to get this one in. Rain showers expected, heavier stuff coming in overnight, and then should clear out by game time tomorrow. So even though it's another wet weekend here in South Central Pennsylvania, as far as baseball is concerned, hopefully will be good.
And hey, if you're a fan of colder weather, this is perfectly ideal. You don't have to worry about the sun. I know you and I don't have to worry about being blinded for the first 3 innings with that sunset. And for fans, you're getting to enjoy a cool, crisp game, a little, what's it, about sub 70, a couple degrees
it's 69
under?
the last I saw,
okay,
with the wind blowing out of the east this evening here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, which means instead of blowing out to right field tonight, it's actually blowing out to left, maybe left center, and could help some balls in that direction. Joe Gardner with the start tonight for the Barnstormers, 6'5" right-hander from the San Francisco Bay Area, making his 9th start of the year. He has thrown 43 in the 3rd innings, allowed 45 hits, 22 earned runs. Joe has walked 17 and struck out 37. His last start came against the Ducks last Saturday at Bethpage Ballpark, and if you want to look at not giving up many base runners, then Joe had a decent outing. If you're looking at runs, that's not the case. 6 of the 8 men he allowed to reach base scored. He gave up a pair of 2-run home runs to the Ducks last weekend. Second baseman Jordany Valdespin leading off for the Ducks here this evening. One of the league's top hitters at .337. He has 4 home runs. He has driven in 23, and at Bethpage Ballpark anyway, Valdespin has mastered swinging down on the ball, getting big high bounces. 6 of his hits in a row against the Barnstormers came on balls batted just like that, a little tougher on our surface here in Lancaster. In from the left side against Gardner. First pitch to Valdespin is outside, ball 1. We're underway tonight with the second game of this 4-game set. We'll play at 6:30 tomorrow, and 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon before the Barnstormers head to Texas for a full week. Strike to the outside corner. Valdespin will bat at 1-1.
And we've been talking pretty much all season, it feels like now, about, that week against Sugar Land is going to be the real week we have to look at this team, and so far it's living up to the expectations.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Valdespin looks at ball 2 outside, says Derek Moshe. 2 balls and a strike. Moshe's got the plate tonight. Bill Worthington at first, and Nate Caldwell with the calls over on the third base side.
Barnstormers a game and a half ahead of second place Sugar Land Skeeters in this division.
2-1 offering, tapped foul at the plate, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Valdespin.
And to try and increase that lead, you have to hope for 2 things. Well, one, that the Skeeters can be tamed by the Revolution, but also that the Barnstormers can tame this Long Island offense, which can boom out at you. Really, the top of the lineup up until about, I'd say, 6 men down. You've got a really set of tough customers to face off.
2-2, grounded toward the middle and underneath the glove of Vladimir Frias. He thought that ball was going to come up for him. It stayed low. We'll get a scoring decision. Valdespin is on. It will be an error. Charge to Frias on the play. So after we talked to Vlad on the dugout report tonight, crowed about his defense.
Commentators curse.
A ball rolls right under his glove, looked like an easy first out. Frias pulled the glove up, the ball skipped underneath, and now you've got to deal with Valdespin, who has 12 steals in 14 tries.
Absolutely right, Dave. And right now they're going to guard him and try and keep him at first with Hobson over there. But absolutely right, Dave. When it comes to that play, he had his glove up. He was ready for that ball to take a slight hop. It was rolling.
Runner goes, pitch outside. Castile's throw, a good one. And Valdespin is out at second base. Frias doing a nice job handling that throw, getting the tag down. So the effect of the error is entirely negated. Only the third base stealer thrown out by Castile this year. But The Barnstormers suspected that Valdespin might go right away. Castile had the perfect pitch to handle from Gardner, just handled it through to second base and nailed him. Now Emilio Bonifacio pulls the 1-0 pitch foul down the right field line. It is 1-1. Bonifacio batting .290 with 22 runs batted in.
And you go back to that catch by Castile that was able to throw out Valdespin. You know, Anderson De La Rosa, he gets that because he's got the quick arm to throw over to second. Not so much for Castile, but you mentioned it was a perfect pitch from Gardner. They were synced and one out here in the top of the first.
Bonifacio hits a fly ball down the right field line, headed for the wall, and it clips off the top of the 10, a home run for Emilio Bonifacio, his first of the season, and the Long Island Ducks take a 1-0 lead here in the top half of the first inning. Swinging to the ballpark, Bonifacio with a home run that probably was only hit 315 feet.
I agree with you, and he is one of just two players, or I should say was one of just two players in today's lineup to not have had a home run. Audi Afenir, the other, who's batting in the 8th spot, but I guess now the positive is you're glad that you caught Valdespin stealing, or else this would be a 2-0 game. But this Ducks lineup does a lot of damage. They have a lot of home runs, 38th as a team now after that one, 1-0 against Lancaster.
As long as you keep the home runs solo like Brooks Hall did last night, you can survive this ballpark. You have to know by now they are going to happen.
And you have to also compare Joe Gardner to Brooks Hall. You mentioned Brooks Hall not fazed by allowing those 2 solo shots. Gardner has to apply the same to himself. Don't let this one get you down. It's 1 run. Let's get right back at it.
Ball 2 outside to Travis Snyder. 2 balls, no strikes. The designated hitter, Lou Ford, waits on deck.
I'm not sure if you'd agree with me. The Ducks 26-24, but it feels like this team is better than what their record indicates.
The Ducks have been, I think, somewhat of a puzzle to management because they are at times a great ball club. 3-0 now to Snyder. And Gardner will miss away again. Ball 4. That puts a runner on. He follows the home run with a 4-pitch walk, and now Lou Ford coming to the plate.
Well, you talk a little bit about Lou Ford because he apparently has some history with this ball club.
Well, Ford has been with the Long Island Ducks for several years, and I can't think of anybody who over that entire span of time that has hurt the Barnstormers more. This year it's just a sprinkling of base hits. He's 11 for 29 in the season series, and that's actually a bad season series, hitting for 379 for Ford against the Barnstormers. He's generally good for about 2 hits a game. He was 2 for 3 last night. 1 strike to him here from Gardner. Snyder leads off first. Breaking ball, grounded into the hole, and that's just what he does. He finds spots. Now a base hit. Runners are at first and second. David Washington coming to the plate. Washington hit the game-winning home run off of Gardner last Saturday, a 2-run homer to the opposite field at Bethpage Ballpark.
Leads the team in home runs with 8, a .248 batter is the left fielder David Washington. But right now you got to try and do something. Let's see if we can double him up here. It feels like the Ducks have went so fast. You can see Castile stepping over home plate just to give the signs to Gardner. But this Ducks team is working efficiently. They're not working a lot of long counts if you want to count the Travis Snyder walk, but that was on 4 pitches.
Washington steps in against Gardner. Joe needs a ground ball here, and he is away to the left-handed batter. Worth noting, and this can happen at Clipper Magazine Stadium with that short porch and right, Gardner has missed outside with 5 straight pitches to left-handed batters since Bonifacio's home run. 1 ball, no strikes to Washington. Big swing and a miss from the huge left-handed batter. He's 6'5", 240. Looks even larger than that.
Yeah, I was
this
about
guy's
to say.
a mountain in the batter's box.
It's like a WWE wrestler right now. His 8 home runs are first on the team. His RBI is at 26. They are third. Travis Snyder leads the team with 35.
Washington ordinarily plays first. He's out in left field tonight. The 1-1 from Gardner is off the plate to the outside.
And he goes way outside there. And this is where I wonder if a pitcher nibbles a little bit. I know it's early in the game, but you have some danger with the first and second being occupied by players. Only 1 out.
Well, I think the lesson to be learned from last night is that you just have to keep attacking. 2 balls and a strike to Washington. Spun foul off to the left and out of play. Now a 2-2 count.
And this is where I think Gardner would love nothing more than for Washington to roll one into a double play and get out of this inning. It's already been a little troublesome. 2 hits, an error, and a run. The Ducks benefiting from those. The error charged to Vladimir Frias to start the game.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Washington. Gardner to the plate. He's high, and now the count is full. You run the risk of loading the bases with 1 out. The Ducks already on the scoreboard on the Bonifacio home run.
Yeah, and it doesn't get easier until after Taylor Ard, who is in the warm-up, is in the on-deck circle. After that, you get to Puckett, Afanier, and Lyons.
Payoff, big pitch, and that's fouled off by Washington. Fouled off to the left side again. We continue with a count of 3 balls and 2 strikes. It's gone error, home run, walk, single. And fortunately for Gardner and the Barnstormers, Valdespin thrown out stealing after reaching on the error. Still a big threat for Long Island in this opening inning. Runners at first and second. 1 out, 3-2 to David Washington. Gardner to the plate. That ball ripped into right field for a base hit. Charging the play is Galen. Snyder is being sent. The throw coming through but late. It's an RBI single for Washington. 2-0 in favor of Long Island. And Taylor Ard will come to the plate. Gardner got the ball 3, had to come to Washington. Washington lining a single into right. And because it was David Washington, Galen is back just about to the warning track in right field. He had to charge that single a long way, couldn't get enough on the throw home.
Just about to say that, yeah, just not enough on the throw to try and get Snyder. It looked like he would have had enough time. Snyder wasn't too fast rolling from third to home. And right now Gardner steps off the mound before getting back on. I almost wonder when you play a team like the Ducks who are so, they're pressed to try and get into first in their division, if you're playing a team that maybe wants it more, that desperation.
Pitch is a called strike on Ard. It is 0-1. These two teams have seen each other so often.
Right.
The last 3 weeks, they know each other. The Ducks know Gardner. The Barnstormers know Perry.
And this is Gardner's 3rd start against them this season, right?
Just the 2nd.
Okay.
He's been able to figure it out. Last night was Brooks Hall's 3rd.
Right.
And Hall's gotten better by the start against Long Island.
Which traditionally it doesn't work that way.
It's not supposed to, but sometimes the hitters, the pitchers can figure out the hitters better than the hitters can figure out the pitchers. 2 strikes here on Ard. 2 on, still only 1 out. Gardner to the plate. That's a smash that's gloved by Frias, and then he tries to shovel the ball out of his glove and can't get anybody. Frias with a great stop up the middle, tried to get the double play started with a quick, hurried backhanded flip to Bortnick, and he just couldn't get the ball on line to Tyler. He might have been better served if he had gotten up and made sure of 1 out.
I think so.
He tried to get 2. Ard will get an infield base hit. The bases are loaded for Cody Puckett, the 3rd baseman.
Why do I feel like I'm watching the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs because they're singling us to death minus the home run?
Well, they had the Ducks, actually Somerset rather, 2 nights ago, 14 singles.
Wow.
Against the Barnstormers. So they're loaded for Puckett, 1 away. A chance for an enormous first inning. Now a ground ball to Garcia. He'll go to Bortnick, 1, and Tyler can't get rid of the throw to get it off the first base, and another run scores. That could have been a double play. Instead, the 3rd run is across. Puckett safe on the fielder's choice. He will get an RBI as Lou Ford is home. The out 5-4. Cody Puckett, since the bad knee injury last year, doesn't run all that well. And I was anticipating a double play there. It didn't happen. Now, Audi Afanier steps to the plate. Afanier coming off an injury that had him on the shelf for a little bit better than a month. He's only been in a couple of ball games so far this year, 2 for 8. Toss to first base, and Puckett jumps back in. Gardner has gotten 2 ground balls in a row. This is one of those situations. If the infield defense makes either play that it could have and maybe should have made, he's out of the inning. Ground ball here to Frias. He'll go the short way to Bortnick at second, and Gardner starting to get the ground balls, starting to get into a rhythm, but a lot of damage done. 3 runs in the inning on 4 hits. There was an error that was wiped out, and a couple of men left on base. A productive first for the Long Island Ducks. The Barnstormers have to come back against the guy who's been the best pitcher in the league so far. They got plenty of time to do it right now after a half. Long Island 3, Lancaster coming up.
You're totally probably safe to ride on your spare for what, 6, maybe 9 months?
Don't trust the wrong advice. Get the right tires at the right price right away. It's what we've been doing at Jack Williams Tire right here in Pennsylvania since our family started this business back in 1929. Because doing things the right way is just the Williams way. Get the right tires right now at jackwilliams.com.
Lancaster Bible College has been around since 1933, but did you know that they offer degrees in much more than just Bible? LBC offers degrees in criminal justice, business, professional counseling, and more, as well as graduate and seminary degrees in areas like Christian care, chaplaincy, education, and leadership studies. To learn more about LBC and the programs they offer, visit lbc.edu. That's lbc.edu. Bennett Perry has been quite the story for the Long Island Ducks this year. A left-hander who spent 4 seasons in the Baltimore Orioles organization, only got to the South Atlantic League. He had decent numbers, but sort of spotty work in the Baltimore organization. The Ducks signed him. They made him a starting pitcher, and he has been the best that the Atlantic League has had to offer this year. 3-0, a 1.85 ERA, 17 walks, 69 strikeouts in 48 2/3 innings. He has allowed 39 to 10 runs. Perry doesn't overpower you, he hypnotizes you.
One of the things you talked about with Perry is that his highest level of affiliated ball was single A, which is interesting, but it's similar to, I think, Johnny Bladell with Southern Maryland. Now, he got signed away, of course, but Bladell had been so good, but had been known as a career independent baseball player. Is that the same with Perry?
Well, this is actually his first tour of duty in this kind of a league, but he's just been he's been unbelievable here. He really has.
It almost makes you wonder then how long.
First tour of duty in the Atlantic League. Anyway.
Right. Almost makes you wonder how long he will be here.
But success in the Atlantic League and what scouts are looking for don't necessarily line up. First pitch to Darian Sanford right on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Perry is that type of pitcher. He will just work at that outside corner with a variety of speeds to right-handed hitters. He'll start pitching off the corner. Hit in the air, right center field by Sanford. The outfielders converge, and it will be the right fielder, Snyder, coming out of there with it. Snyder in right, Bonifacio in center, and for a second I thought we were going to have a head-on collision. I was a little worried that air traffic control had failed to do its job.
And if that would have happened, Sanford's at second with his kind of speed. Blake Galen coming in. Speaking of right fielders, here's one for the Barnstormers with 11 home runs, 7-year veteran with Lancaster, and he's been signed away quite a few times. The way he's playing, it could happen again.
309 with 11 homers, 46 runs batted in. Blake takes a strike on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Perry has just been unbelievable living on the edges of the strike zone. Lancaster has scored only once off him in 2 previous starts, and it was the result of a Blake Galen home run in the first inning we saw Perry this year. A ball is low, 1-1. Bennett Perry is 26 years of age, came out of Cal State Northridge, and he did pitch 2 years in the American Association after leaving the Orioles. Swung on and missed by Galen. It's 1-2. Last year, a 1.93 ERA, but nothing like this year. The strikeout 62 in 79 1/3 innings. He is absolutely mesmerized Atlantic League batters.
And when it comes to,
here's the 1-2. Galen fights it off.
Just going to wait for that pitch to come in. I was about to say, when it comes to independent baseball, the Atlantic League is considered wide in a way to be the highest level of play. So the fact that he's doing this at a better level than where he was the last couple of years, pretty impressive stuff.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Galen. Somewhat of a shift is on, not a complete one. Breaking ball dances outside and low. It's 2-2.
Should mention Blake Galen's 11 home runs are the among the league leaders. In fact, he is first overall in home runs for the Atlantic League.
Leads by 1 over Sugar Land's Courtney Hawkins. Next offering to Blake is popped up, foul territory. Sprinting on in from first base is Ard. The catcher off and ear over. The ball gets to the seats, and Galen still has life on this turn at the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Long Island with a 3 spot in the top half of the first inning. And how imposing is this? Well, Bennett Perry has not given up more than 2 runs in any of his last 7 starts, and he has only given up 1 run, 0 or 1 in 6 of those.
So you have to hope to get to their bullpen, and how good is their bullpen?
It's been decent. To Galen 2-2, he swings and misses. Strikeout number 1 for Perry here tonight. Perry hasn't struck out as many Barnstormers as some of the other clubs around the league. That is his 12th strikeout in 12 1/3 innings against Lancaster. Now with 2 outs, here's catcher Ryan Castile. Castile 0 for last night, his average dropping to .320 on the year. He has 7 home runs, and he has driven in 27. So 2 outs, nobody on, bottom half of the first inning.
Barnstormers with more runs in the first inning than any of the other previous innings, and they only have allowed, going into this game, 20 runs in the opening inning. That's one of their better numbers across the full 9 set, but Long Island getting to them early today.
1 ball, no strikes to Castile with 2 outs, nobody on board. Perry back to the plate. He is high, ball 2. Left fielder Trayvon Robinson waits on deck. Castile, especially until Nate Coronado returned, was the big threat from the right side of the plate for the Barnstormers under any and all circumstances. So many switch hitters on this ball club, but Castile was the one real danger from the right side that the Barnstormers had until Coronado came back. Here's a 3-0 pitch right there, taken by Castile. It's 3-1. And when you look at it, the Barnstormers switch hitters, by and large, are better hitters left-handed. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Castile, ground ball to third. Easy chance for Puckett to his left. He throws low. Ard digs that up. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Bennett Perry in the bottom half of the first. Nothing across, and Perry doing what Perry does. That is his 12th consecutive 0 he has put up against the Barnstormers, and at the end of 1, 3-0 Long Island.
Localflavor.com, local flavor, localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Dan Lyons, the shortstop, will get the top of the second underway for the Long Island Ducks. Lyons has struggled at the plate this year, batting just .168. He has a home run. He still managed to drive in 15 runs, but the glove is still there at shortstop. Veteran Duck in his 8th season there. Gardner is low for a ball, 1-0.
And here's where Joe Gardner just has to get right back on that hill and start attacking. Like you said, they have to attack these players, get over that first inning. It's in the books, 1-1 now. So he throws a strike inside.
Well, when you stop to think about it, he's actually gotten 5 straight ground balls. The first 3 just happened to be base hits.
Right.
But they were ground balls. Next pitch to Lyons. There's another ground ball wrapped right to Vladimir. Frias finds Casey Hobson. They don't get Lyons by much, but they get him.
Just about to say, yeah, he hustled up the bag.
One out, and Jordani Valdespin, the second baseman, to the plate. He reached on an error back in the first inning.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe it's defensive alignment then that could have changed the difference of those 3 runs.
Well, sometimes you just find holes. Lou Ford, there's no way to defend Ford.
Right.
If there were, the Barnstormers have had enough time over the years to find it, but
the scouting report would have it.
There's no way you can position a field to defend Ford. He uses the entire 90-degree angle from foul line to foul line. Valdespin shows bunt. He takes the ball outside. It's 1-0. I had a joke with Lou last night, something about having a 48-game hitting streak against the Barnstormers. No, I haven't actually looked it up, but I swear it's true. Strike to the inside edge. It's 1-1. It has been remarkable.
Now, that would be interesting to see what his streak is at. And you mentioned among the last several years, you can't think of anybody across the league better.
Just year in and year out. Popped up near the mound. Gardner will give way to the third baseman, Garcia, who makes the catch on that side of the mound. 2 outs in the inning. And Emilio Bonifacio will step in. Bonifacio with the home run that just ticked off the front of the Haller tent toward the right field line.
Right. And
his first of the year.
A former New York Met, if I'm not incorrect.
Well, Valdespin is.
Valdespin.
Bonifacio's been everywhere. Gardner's pitch to him, fouled off to the left. It is no balls and a strike. But the top 4 in the Long Island batting order, and this is their standard 1 through 4 alignment, all Major League veterans. It is upstairs, and we go to a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Bonifacio. Gardner has 2 outs, nobody on here in the second. He is now working to keep the Barnstormers close against the impenetrable fort that is Bennett Perry. Perfect bunt up along the third base side. No chance to get Bonifacio. You can't deaden a bunt any better than that one.
I was just about to say, right up the third base line, but not enough speed to get to Garcia. And you mentioned Bonifacio on first, talking about the Major League experience around this team. 15 players, that's including their pitchers, their bullpen, their starters, but 15 of them, Major League experience. That's very impressive.
Travis Snyder, another one of the veterans. Now there's Major League veterans, then there's David Washington. He had 6 plate appearances, but it still counts.
Yeah.
Snyder, quite a bit of time at the Major League level. He stings it, line drive, backhanded play. Bortnick, a dandy. Put a star by that one in the scorebook. He throws on to retire Snyder, a diving stop of a short hop and a wonderful play. No runs, 1 hit with no errors and a man left. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Still 3-0 Long Island.
We can't help but always want more, especially on the road. More horsepower, heightened handling, elevated design. Get more out of your drive with a Lexus IS. Bold styling, track-tuned handling, available 311 horsepower. Experience the exhilaration of the IS350 and IS300. Available in F-Sport and all-wheel drive. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg.
Enjoy weekends with the Barnstormers all season long. Every Friday evening home game will feature a different giveaway ranging from t-shirts to beach towels to backpacks. On Saturdays, enjoy the best entertainment doubleheader there is with Barnstormers baseball followed by fireworks. Sundays are fun days at the ballpark. Get autographs from some of your favorite Barnstormers players and play catch on the field before the game. Once the game is over, it's a Domino's Pizza Kids Base Run. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. And we'll see you at the ballpark.
Joe Gardner settles things down in the top of the second inning, and now the Barnstormers need to figure out Bennett Perry. Perry retired the side in order in the bottom of the first inning. He'll be facing Robinson, Hobson, and Coronado in the second. Perry truly has been a marvel for the Ducks this season. He gave up 4 runs in his first start. Since then, as I mentioned, he has not given up more than 2 in any start, and that's been just once in the last 7 outings. Third time the Barnstormers have seen him. First pitch to Robinson, a strike. It is 0-1. And when you're facing Perry, you're pretty much left guessing.
Well, I was just about to say, most strikeouts this season for him. He had 14 at the end of May against the Skeeters.
Well, what you're guessing is speed, because he mixes his speeds really well. Robinson sees the ball here on a breaking pitch, but everything's on the edges, and you don't know how fast it's coming in. You have a hard time reading it. You don't know when to pull a trigger. Ball 2 is low here, 2-1. And the Barnstormers seeing Perry for the 3rd time here in the month of June, but still having a very difficult time picking up a pattern. It is worth mentioning the Barnstormers have won both games that Perry has started because they've rallied against the bullpen on both occasions.
Something they might have to do in this one.
4-3 victory the first time. And a Robinson, the 3-1 pitch is fouled away. I take that back. Long Island won his start. No, they didn't. That was the Sunday ball game. The Barnstormers won 4-3 again. So, yeah, Lancaster's won both times. They have faced Perry, but they've had to do it against the relief corps with a late surge. Robinson bats 3-2, Perry to the plate, and he deals ball 4. That barely missed.
Yeah.
Robinson thought it did. He was convinced. He bolted for first base. Perry stared in, wanting to know where it was. Now here's Casey Hobson. Casey's bat jolted to life last night. He had his first home run this go-around. A 2-run shot in the first inning. But now another challenge. He has yet to pick up a base hit against a lefty since coming from Richmond. He is 0 for 10. He was hit by a pitch from the left-handed reliever he faced last night. And a KC here, a ball is low from Perry, 1-0. Promising start to the second inning.
And I think for Hobson, what you're looking for is some offensive power if you can get it. Remember, he's sort of the replacement for Joey Turdoslavich, who was signed last week.
1-0, and that's jacked to right center field, racing over on it, Snyder. That is past him, bouncing out to the wall. Racing for third, Robinson into second ahead of the relay throw with a double. There's his first hit off the lefty, and for the Barnstormers, runners at second and third with nobody out. I've got to tip my hat to KC. He wasn't sitting here with this woe is me over his start. He has been working so hard to return to being the player we have had here for about half of each of the last 2 seasons, and it looks like he's getting there, if not all the way there.
How about that, though? I said about power, and then he scolds one out to right center. But I agree with you, just being disciplined and being positive. That's what so many of these guys talk about, just staying on that high horse. And Barnstormers have a chance. They're threatening now with nobody out in the bottom of the second.
You get these two across, you've got a ball game. Nate Coronado stands in, and a pitch is bounced, knocked down off the chest protector of Audi Affinir.
And Affinir is underrated in this case in terms of his importance because he's going to have to protect balls like that or else Sanford gets home. At speed from third base by Darian Sanford will burn you if you lose one. Or excuse me, Trayvon Robinson, my apologies. Either way, though, that ball gets behind you and out to the screen.
Robinson at third, Hobson at second, nobody out. The Ducks will allow a run to score on anything hit toward the middle here. The infielders are back. The only guy playing close is the third baseman Puckett. To Coronado, big breaking ball for a strike. It is 1-1. Nate with 10 runs batted in this season, 6 have come against the Ducks. Of course, these two clubs have played each other a ton since Nate showed up. Perry back with the 1-1, and he is just off the mark with that. Ball 2 down low.
I was going to say, even Saul Perry gave a bit of a look again there.
Perry gets a lot of downward plane. He is 6'6". To Coronado, here's the 2-1 upstairs, and ball 3. Vladimir Frias, the shortstop, waits on deck. Frias has been a stronger hitter from the left side of the plate than he has from the right. Coronado awaiting the 3-1, trying to do some damage here. The Perry pitch swung on and missed. It is 3-2. Coronado needs to get a ball in play here. The Barnstormers have got to score some runs. Down by 3 early. Robinson off third, Hobson off second, and the payoff pitch swung on and missed. That is huge for Perry. Now the Barnstormers can't pick up 2 runs on outs, which is what you were looking for. Frias will check in. Vladimir hitting .270 right-handed, .364 as a lefty. Coronado does not pick up a run here. Lancaster still has 2 in scoring position, now with 1 out. Frias will need a base hit for the Barnstormers to score 2. Frias or Carlos Garcia, one or the other. Back-to-back switch hitters again. Alfanier with the block on a pitch in the dirt. It is ball 1. Coronado had the 3-1 advantage in the count, and Perry gave him a very good 1-2 combination of pitches, getting the swing and miss up and then 1 in the dirt. 1-0 on Frias. Perry ready to go. The pitch to Vlad, fouled at the plate. It is 1-1. 2 chances left to get these runs home. At Frias, the last guy who can get it home on an out.
Right, but maybe a hit, and you have Carlos Garcia up, who's batting .308 on the year, so obviously you'd like to get Frias a knock in here, but Barnstormers have to just work with the real estate they're given.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Frias pops it up foul out of play.
Now, is this where the guessing game comes into Perry's advantage?
Well, you're seeing Perry work over hitters here. He's not fazed by this situation.
I was about to
say.
He's
a guy brimming with confidence right now, and he's just making his pitches, giving these Barnstormers the assortment, throwing quality pitches, and Coronado and Frias, you can see it. They're both off balance. 1-2 with 2 men in scoring position, and to Frias it is low, ball 2 and 2 strikes. And Perry is deceptive enough, not necessarily with his motion, but trying to read his pitches, that he doesn't have to throw it in the zone. We saw it with Coronado. I'm pretty sure that last pitch would have been ball 4 if Coronado had taken it. But this is why he has so many strikeouts. He gets you to chase bad pitches. Here's a 2-2. Frias does as well. He swings and he misses. Gone on strikes. It was in the dirt. Now Garcia needs a base hit if the Barnstormers are to score.
Yeah, and this is an inning that you don't want to be looking back on when the bottom of the 9th ends and saying woulda, shoulda, coulda. Barnstormers had lead-off guys on 2nd and 3rd. No outs. Now they've got 2. They have to put the ball in the play and get a hit to get these guys home.
Lancaster trailing 3-0. The Barnstormers had it set up with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Nobody out. But both Coronado and Frias have struck out here. And the batter is Carlos Garcia, the third baseman. .308 on the year for Carlos. Hitting .333 right-handed. He's got to deliver. The pitch by Perry. Fastball gets through. A strike call, 0-1. And Garcia has gone into somewhat of a skid. Only 2 out of his last 17.
Yeah, what's weird is he's so much better on the road than he is at Clipper Magazine Stadium. .424 on the road, .222 at home. Night and day.
1 strike, the count to Garcia. Perry comes back with a breaking ball, reaches the outside corner.
Changing speeds.
You can't do it better than Bennett Perry has after getting in trouble here in the 2nd inning. It's why he has been so amazingly successful.
And it's almost like now he's put the pressure on Lancaster. The pressure's not on Perry anymore.
It's definitely on Garcia right here. The 0-2, he goes after it, a swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch. Perry roars back from a second and third, nobody out jam, and strikes out the side. No runs, one hit, no errors. 2 men left on base. At the end of 2, the Ducks are up 3-0.
I'm a chef. Pleasing my patrons' palates is paradise. But lately, when I hear a cheer from the dining room, it's Keno from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Sure, it could be my veggie lasagna, but chances are it's customers picking numbers to win cash with drawings every 4 minutes. Keno's fun, exciting, and you can enjoy it as an appetizer or a main course. Hey, everything tastes better with winning. Keno, it's here. Played at your favorite bar or restaurant.
Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Enjoy a weeknight with the Barnstormers and leave with your wallet largely intact. Come on out on Munchie Mondays for all you can eat nachos, dogs, fries, popcorn, and soda for 2 hours. Or how about Koozie Tuesdays, where fans of legal age can enjoy $2 domestic drafts from 6:30 to 8. Bring your dog on Wiener Wednesdays and enjoy delicious dollar dogs as well. Or on Thrifty Thursday, popcorn is just $1, sodas are $2, and lawn seats are only $3. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. And we'll see you at the ballpark.
Well, one piece of good news, York has Sugarland down 3-0, and they're to the bottom half of the 5th inning in a series opener at Peoples Bank Ballpark. Lou Ford leads off the 3rd here against Joe Gardner. We've got the same score going on. The Ducks are up. Breaking ball for a strike to Ford. Lou singled and scored a run back in the 1st inning. Frias pulled toward the hole now. Swing and a miss. And Ford trails 0-2. Gardner's retired 5 of the last 6 batters. Southern Maryland 2, Somerset nothing in the 3rd inning. That gives the Ducks a little more hope. Swing and a miss. Ford goes down. Gardner with his first strikeout. I mean, Ford's not batting 1,000 against the Barnstormers, but
but that's
about
still
400 over the years.
That's a victory right there, getting him to fan.
1 out, David Washington to the plate. He singled in the 2nd run back in that 1st inning. Gardner seems to be settled in now. The problem facing the Barnstormers is Bennett Perry.
Right.
Who just refuses, it seems, to give up a run.
Well, let's be fair. It is 2 innings in, so, that one well up upstairs and outside. But, the only thing I have to say is after that 2nd inning with guys on 2nd and 3rd, you get no runs. You have to hope you're going to bounce back from that.
And it's going to be harder. Nubber back toward the hill. Gardner up with it. He'll shovel to Hobson. If Joe and Casey had that to do all over again, that throw would have been in a little bit of a different spot. Fortunately, there was some time for Hobson to be able to evacuate, but that shovel throw pulled Casey right into the path of an oncoming freight train.
And so far he's got 2 quick outs here, and even last inning, I don't think Gardner's thrown a whole lot in the last 2 innings.
9 pitches last inning, just 5 here, 2 away. Taylor Ard, the batter. He reached on an infield base hit, diving stop by Frias back in the 1st inning, and then Vlad made a wide feed to Tyler Bortnick trying to start a double play. Swing and a miss. 0-1 on Ard.
A little surprised that Ard swung at that one. Looked well outside, but you just never know that off-speed stuff.
Gardner comes back. Chopper foul behind Kevin Baez and out toward the rolled-up tarp, and may it stay there. There was a temptation in the hour before game time to cover the field. We had some showers coming down here right around the time the gates opened.
Yep, that's
those
true.
Are cleared out of the area. 0-2 into the dirt. Ball 1, 2 strikes on Ard, 2 outs, nobody on.
Isn't it just, you talked about it being another cold, rainy weekend here in Lancaster. It's so unfortunate because it seems like we have these great crowds and then there always has to be poor weather for it.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Ard won't go after another one in the dirt. 2-2.
That weekend against Southern Maryland, a couple weekends back. Well, I guess now a few weekends. It was the beginning of June.
That one-hole homestand with Somerset and Southern Maryland in here. We just got sat on for 3 days. Ard lays off a high fastball, 3-2. Gardner's gone from 0-2 to 3-2. Nothing ultimately close enough to tempt the big first baseman. Now a payoff pitch. Gardner ready to go, and ball 4 is inside.
That's a professional at-bat by Taylor Ard, a guy who went, as you mentioned, 0-2 in the count and just worked his way around there. Or you could say it's a mix of Gardner maybe being a little less effective with his pitch selection.
2-out base runner. Ard not much in the way of a thief. He's a fairly honest guy, hasn't tried to steal anything all year. Base runner at first, Cody Puckett the batter. Puckett got an RBI on a fielder's choice back in the first inning, and now he is hit by Gardner.
Oh, that did not look good.
First and second with 2 outs. That is the 8th Long Island base runner of the night, matching their total against Gardner in his start last Saturday. So Adi Afenir coming to the plate with 2 outs and 2 on, and suddenly Long Island with a chance to strike again here in the 3rd inning. Well, where did it go all of a sudden? Gardner was in great shape against Ard, and he has missed badly ultimately with 5 straight pitches.
Yeah, no idea there.
First and second with 2 gone. Gardner to puck
and
to Afenir, almost hit him.
Yeah.
Ball 1 high and inside.
He's got, and you can see him kicking the dirt up around the rubber now. I mean, Gardner's got to do something. Is it where he's planting his front foot when he's coming down?
He could be flying open.
Yeah, maybe.
There can be all kinds of mechanical issues. 1 ball, no strikes on Afenir. That's yanked down the left field line, and it's going to do some damage. Chasing it into the corner, Robinson. Home to score is Ard. Puckett is being waved. He is going to come home. The throw into Castile. The tag is in time. Cody Puckett slowed down, and with the injury last year, not able to score a second run on that play. Kevin Baez is going to argue this with Derek Moshe. RBI double for Afenir, and then the out will go 7-6-2 at the plate. But it's a 2-out run on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd, 4-0 Ducks.
Learn from the pros right here in Lancaster. The Lancaster Barnstormers are offering 2 3-day-long youth clinics this summer with instruction on pitching, hitting, fielding, and base running. Each session, led by veteran professional players, will last from 9 until noon with lunch to follow. Choose from June 19th to 21st or July 24th to 26th. So learn what it takes to succeed on the field and off. Call the Barnstormers office at 717-509-HITS or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. Space is limited. Act now.
Introducing the all-new Lexus RX 350L, designed for room. Room for a power folding 3rd row. Room for up to 7. And room for the unexpected. The 3-row RXL. It's the RX with room for more. Experience the innovative RXL and RXL hybrid. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg.
RX 450HL arriving spring 2018.
Perhaps the Barnstormers in some ways are saved that they only allowed 1 run in that 3rd inning.
Very close play at the plate. Kevin Baez did come over to argue the call at home as Puckett was tagged out officially by Ryan Castile on a 7-6-2 relay. An RBI double for Audi Afenir, and the sequence of events, bottom half of the second, top half of the third, to some extent troubling. When the Barnstormers had runners at second and third, nobody out, and didn't score, and then Gardner had 2 outs, nobody on, and gave up a run. Tyler Bortnick shows bunt and takes a strike. It is 0-1. Bortnick is batting 194. That's hard to believe with everything positive that he has accomplished this year. 2 homers, 17 runs batted in. Lancaster has to get something started here against Perry. There's a soft little pop-up. He gets jammed as Bortnick. Back goes Lyons to make the catch for out number 1. Darian Sanford will step in. Sanford fly to the right fielder Snyder on a near collision out in right center back in the first inning. Snyder and Emilio Bonifacio got into each other's airspace. We had a nasty collision back in 2014 in Bridgeport. Brett Carroll and Joe Gardner head on, trying to track down a liner to left center. It went as an inside the park home run, as those two had a nasty collision, and fortunately both okay, because they were 2 valuable parts of that 14 ball club. Upstairs, ball 2, 2-0. It'd be interesting to compare the 2012 team and the team that we had the last month in 14 to say which club was better. 3-0 now on Sanford.
Yeah, sometimes it's the teams that don't win the championships that end up being remembered more.
For the entire season, 2012 was the best club we've had in here. This one could match it. Here's a 3-0. Sanford will look at a called strike.
I guess one of the ones I think of is the 1993 Philadelphia Phillies. Now they won the National League. They lost to the Blue Jays in the World Series, yet they're one of the most remembered Phillies teams of all time.
We had Dave Stewart in here last night.
Oh, really?
Ball 4 is inside, a walk to Sanford. Second walk given up by Perry. Blake Galen will come to the plate. Perry will give up base runners, just not runs. He's very stingy with them. We've seen that tonight. Barnstormers get their 3rd guy on. Galen, a strikeout victim back in the first. Perry is fanned 4.
A second walk charged against Perry. He has walked no more than 3 batters this season. Did that twice so far in the year.
Dave Stewart, part of that 93 championship team for the Toronto Blue Jays, as well as 89 in Oakland. Throw goes to first, keeping Sanford honest.
That's pretty cool. What was he doing here?
Actually, he was in New York City, had a day to kill, realized that Rico Noel, one of his former clients, was here.
Oh, really?
And
wow.
Came down to see Rico. Was a little disappointed Rico didn't play last night. But Dave spent the night with us, a couple innings in here. He talked to Bob Zuckerman, one of our partners, and Mike Reynolds, the GM, quite a while last night, swinging a foul back by Galen. It is 0-1. What a charming gentleman. Just absolutely
so I missed that.
A wonderful guy. Heard that about Dave Stewart, as intimidating as he could look on the mound. He was absolutely a wonderful guy and not disappointed at all here last night. To Galen, the 0-1, a partial swing. He went too far, says the plate umpire Moshe. Blake trails 0-2, and even he's having trouble with Perry tonight.
We'll have some other guys with some World Series experience and championship banner underneath later on this year, right? Brad Lidge?
Brad Lidge will be here in September.
Iconic photo. Sure, that'll be signed by many.
Ball 1 to Galen. Sanford takes off on the pitch in the dirt, and he'll make it without a throw. I believe that will go down. Did he go before that pitch was in the dirt?
No.
We'll get the official ruling. I didn't think he did either. I think he read the pitch and decided to take off.
Was that a pass ball?
I would call it a wild pitch, but I'd want to see it on the replay. I don't see first base well from this particular location.
Right.
Now ball 2 to Galen, 2-2. And I didn't notice exactly which time he broke. Was it before or after the pitch hit the dirt? And they are giving him a stolen base, just 34.
Oh, okay, wow.
I hadn't caught him out of the corner of my eye breaking.
How many did you say that was for Sanford?
34. Wow. That's the response we generally get. Galen bats 2-2, breaking ball, swung on and missed. Oh, that is the 4th straight strikeout for Bennett Perry with a runner in scoring position in this game. That's dominating.
Yeah.
5 strikeouts total. Ryan Castile will try to pick Sanford up from second base.
And it's confidence, just knowing there's a guy there. You know what? Doesn't matter. I'm going to attack this guy in the batter's box. He doesn't stand a chance. That's that kind of confidence thing.
He's striking the batters out on off-speed pitches, not fastballs.
Yeah.
Fastballs just set up everything else.
5th strikeout, by the way.
Yeah, his changeup and his curveball are just devastating. Barnstormers hitters. Lancaster can't read them. They're swinging and missing over the top. They're chasing pitches out of the zone. That one too far out of the zone. Ball 1 to Castile.
9th game of the year for Bennett Perry, and now up to 74 strikeouts.
Jonathan Albaladejo holds the single-season record in the Atlantic League with 164. He said it 2 years ago.
Is that with
If Perry stays in this league all year, he's going to shatter it.
Is that with Bridgeport?
Yes. 1-0, Castile chases a changeup. It is 1-1.
Oh, wouldn't that have been fun to see Perry versus Albaladejo? Has that happened yet this year?
I don't think they matched up before. Yeah, as a matter of fact, they did last Sunday.
Oh, okay.
And it was 3-0 Ducks with the starters. Again, Castile is swing and a miss. And if I didn't know this is what was going on when Perry faces everybody else in the Atlantic League, I would think it would be a disturbing night for the Barnstormers hitters, and they're probably about ready to kick themselves. But this is what Perry's done to everybody. They chase pitches out of the zone against them. They can't read what's coming. 1-2. Castile gets enough of it to hit a little looper out to shallow left center field. It's got a chance to fall. It does. Here comes Sanford. He's going to score. And at least the Barnstormers are on the board. It wasn't picturesque at all.
No.
But an RBI single for Ryan Castile. It's 3-1. And Trayvon Robinson will come to the plate. Well, the Barnstormers get off the schneid against Perry, not having scored since the first inning of the first time they faced him. And this is his 3rd start against Lancaster. We'll see if Trayvon Robinson can add to it. Trayvon walked in the 2nd inning, got as far as 3rd, and had to stand there through 3 consecutive strikeouts. Perry looks toward first. He'll come to the plate. Robinson gets a ball inside and low. It is 1-0. And at the very least, the Barnstormers have been able to move Perry's pitch count up 53 so far tonight. To Robinson, foul ball back. It is 1-1. Now here's the question. The official log has Perry with 23 balls and 31 strikes over the course of the game tonight. But the question is, how many pitches has he actually thrown in the strike zone? And my guess is probably about 15.
Yeah.
Robinson waves the wand, and that may have been out of the zone, fouled away. It's 1-2. But Perry is just a master at getting you to chase bad pitches.
It's so hard to tell from up here, but I was looking at a couple of those that they struck out, and it looks like it's going away and in the dirt. Is it a slider?
It's a changeup.
It's a changeup.
Is what I've heard, and I think a lot of those probably are. Here's the 1-2 to Robinson. Fastball crossed him up. That's strike 3 call. Trayvon was looking for that off-speed pitch, got the fastball, and is frozen by it. 1 run does score. The Barnstormers on the board. 1 hit with no errors. They leave a man, and at the end of 3, it's a ball game. 3-1 Long Island. 4-1 Long Island.
Like craft beers, local wines? Well, the best place to be in Lancaster then is Clipper Magazine Stadium. That's right, all new for 2018 is the Broken Bat deck down the right field line. The Broken Bat will feature more than 20 local craft breweries and product from 2 local wineries. If something with a little more kick is your adult beverage of choice, a local distillery is part of the Broken Bat as well. Food will be sold off a pub-style menu, so get together, hang out with your friends, make some new ones, and enjoy a night of craft beer sampling along with a Barnstormers game.
AMT Concerts presents Rock at the Park Festival, Saturday, July 21st, featuring sets from Fuel, Eve 6, Sister Hazel, Long Beach Dub All-Stars, Fastball, and more. Rock at the Park, Saturday, July 21st, at Clipper Magazine Stadium, Lancaster. Tickets on sale now at rockatthepark.com.
Well, let's get all of our bookkeeping straight. It is 4-1 Long Island. 4 runs, 6 hits, and for the Ducks, no errors. They have left 4. The Barnstormers a run, 2 hits, 1 error, and 3 left. First pitch, a breaking ball in for a strike on Dan Lyons. It's 0-1. And it has been changed after a review. Darian Sanford going to second on a wild pitch, not a stolen base. Lyons hits one in the air to right field in front of the track toward the line is Galen. He is there for out number 1. Lyons retired, back around to the top of the order, and Jordani Valdespin, who's 0 for 2. Long Island 4 and Lancaster 1. 4th inning of baseball. The Barnstormers getting on the board. Again, Sanford's speed created it. Not too many people can get from first to second on that pitch in the dirt to Offenier. He took off and got into scoring position, scoring on the floater by Castile. Gardner to Valdespin. He sails the pitch high and outside, 1-0. It's tough to figure out Gardner here tonight. At times he's looked outstanding.
Right.
And at other times he's just lost the range. That's toward the middle and speared by Frias. He'll throw and get him. Oh, what a brilliant play by Vladimir there. Put a star by that one in the scorebook. 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Frias looking to make a similar play back in the 1st inning.
Yeah.
And probably it wouldn't have been nearly as good a one. Completely whiffed on a ground ball.
Terrific.
Here, he makes a great stop up the middle, robbing Valdespin. 2 outs. And the batter is Emilio Bonifacio, who has homered and bunted for a base hit.
In some ways, you could say Valdespin beat Frias in the 1st inning, while Frias just evened the score with a terrific play.
Up and away to Bonifacio, ball 1. If you're looking for positives out of the game tonight, Gardner's thrown fewer pitches than Perry. Strike to the outer edge. Bonifacio batting 1-1. We talked how at times Gardner's looked really good. Then there was that sort of ugly about 7 pitches
right
at the end of the top half of the 3rd inning. Breaking ball into the dirt, 2-1. He had 2 outs, nobody on, and an 0-2 count on Taylor Ard. Missed with 4 pitches in a row, hit Puckett, and then after falling behind Offenier 1-0, gave up the double into the left field corner. Strike called, 2-2 here on Bonifacio. And it came out of nowhere. Gardner looked to be mastering the Ducks at that point. You don't know where it went for several pitches. 2-2, chipped out to left. That one's going to fade foul and not quite to the hillside. It hit off the sidewall. Never a chance for Trayvon Robinson. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Bonifacio here. I don't think the Barnstormers can give up anything else. And then you can hope that the Barnstormers might pick up another run or 2 here or there against Perry. Force him deep into counts and then maybe get to the Ducks bullpen, which they have done before after Perry has started. We mentioned that before. 2 4-3 losses for the Ducks in games started by Perry against the Barnstormers. 2-2, the continuing count on Bonifacio. He's having the biggest night of all for the Long Island Ducks. Gardner's pitch, grounded on the right side. Chasing it down, Bortnick. He'll make the short throw from the hole. Gardner has the 1-2-3 inning in the top half of the 4th. The Barnstormers get another crack at Perry with the 5, 6, and 7 hitters through 3.5, 4-1 Long Island.
You're totally probably safe to ride on your spare for what, 6, maybe 9 months?
Don't trust the wrong advice. Get the right tires at the right price right away. It's what we've been doing at Jack Williams Tire right here in Pennsylvania since our family started this business back in 1929. Because doing things the right way is just the Williams way. Get the right tires right now at jackwilliams.com.
Lancaster Bible College has been around since 1933, but did you know that they offer degrees in much more than just Bible? LBC offers degrees in criminal justice, business, professional counseling, and more, as well as graduate and seminary degrees in areas like Christian care, chaplaincy, education, and leadership studies. To learn more about LBC and the programs they offer, visit lbc.edu. That's lbc.edu. Four 0 York over Sugar Land. They're in the bottom half of the sixth inning. And not that I wanted this exactly to happen earlier today, but I've been going over the math because I'm me and I'm obsessed.
Yes, you are.
As people well know. But ever since the end of the game last night, I have been contemplating all the combinations with the Barnstormers in Somerset. And one thing dawned on me. It's better for the Barnstormers if both these teams lose than if they both win, which is kind of strange.
Yes, it is.
First pitch to Casey Hobson is yanked foul down the right field line. He has the one loud swing for the Barnstormers in the game, a double to the gap in right center field back in the second inning. He trails Bennett Perry by a strike here, starting off the bottom of the fourth. Coronado and Frias will follow. To Perry, a check swing on a pitch away. It is 1-1. Well, the Barnstormers are closer with more time to catch up.
That they are, and they're playing well.
Hobson looks at the second strike over at the knees, 1-2. And just as you make up your mind to stop chasing Perry out of the zone, he's starting to put the ball in the zone.
Right.
And the Barnstormers are taking more pitches now, and they're taking called strikes. 1-2, a check swing, the pitch in the dirt. Hobson able to hold up. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, this is a pitcher's mentality too, because if you're Perry, think about it. It's pretty easy for him to make a decision. If I'm throwing a pitch outside the zone, they're swinging at it. What makes me want to throw one in the zone? I don't need to. But now when you wait on him, he feels like he has to.
2-2, and this is a towering pop-up behind the plate. Offenier having trouble getting away from the plate umpire Derek Moshe, and the ball falls in untouched.
Yep, and Derek Moshe unintentionally, of course, but he did get in the way a little bit of Offenier, who was trying to make that play. Had he not done that, Dave, I do think that would have been caught.
Yeah, Hobson fortunate to be alive there. And by the time that both Perry and Ard realized that Offenier was going to have a problem, it was too late. I don't think Ard could have ever gotten there to begin with.
No.
And Perry's supposed to let pop-ups go.
Hobson can take advantage of this extra life.
Here's a 2-2. Instead, he swings and misses. That's strikeout number 7 for Bennett Perry. Got him with a breaking ball, 1 out. Nate Coronado will be the hitter. Perry has simply been amazing tonight and all year. And you wonder if somebody needs a left-hander in their organization, somebody with really good off-speed stuff, not looking for a power fastball, do they take a chance? Coronado stands in. He was a strikeout victim back in the second, and a strike is delivered here by Perry. It is 0-1. I mean, the Barnstormers have run into something really special, I think, out there this evening. They just got to stick around in this ball game and hope something will develop later.
Yeah, they have to hope that this bullpen can maybe waste an opportunity. That does happen in baseball, obviously. Right now, though, Perry just looks like he's in a zone.
Ball 1, strike 1 to Coronado. The left-hander brings it home, swing and a miss at the fastball. And now that fastball looks like it's about 95.
And I was just about to say, you talk about changing speeds and stuff. It really does look it. Yeah, I think we've seen pitches in the 70s, 80s, 90s from him all day.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Coronado. That's strike 3 on the inside corner, and it is punch out number 8 for Perry.
And that's a gut check strike for Nate Coronado. Just kind of sits there. It gets right around belt high, which is in the strike zone in this league, and I think it was just 2 inside that if Coronado even swung at it, he was going to fan.
2 outs. Frias the batter. He struck out back in the second. Perry already has had 3 double-digit strikeout performances. He fanned 11 Road Warriors on May 17th, 12 Blue Crabs on June the 12th as Frias fouls a pitch away, and 14 Sugarland Skeeters back on May 30th.
I talked about that stat earlier today, and he might be getting into double digits yet again at 8 right now.
The record against the Barnstormers is 15. A Newark Bear right-hander by the name of Patrick Stanley years and years ago. Frias batting 0-2 against Perry here. He had 1 strikeout in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third, and he has gotten the first 2 batters here in the 4th inning. 0-2 to Vladimir Frias. Perry comes back and delivers low, ball 1. So when you run into this, there's very little that you can actually do. Right now, Perry sitting at 69 pitches. To Frias, 1-2, lashed foul. Every time this guy has to throw, it's to the Barnstormers' benefit.
Right, absolutely. And this is where you can look at it from that standpoint and say, okay, maybe we don't get a lead on this team before he exits this game, but we can fast forward to getting to that exit by taking these pitches and just fouling them off.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The count on Frias. Perry ready to go. And the pitch is lifted out to shallow right center field. Valdespin will go back and take it. It ends the inning, a 1-2-3 inning. The second of those for Perry in the game. Nothing across for the Barnstormers, and at the end of 4, the Ducks continue to lead 4-1.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Travis Snyder will lead off the 5th inning for the Long Island Ducks. He has walked and been robbed by Tyler Bortnick up the middle. We've seen a couple of gems from the Barnstormers infielders here tonight. Gardner ready to go, and he is outside to Snyder for a ball 1-0. Tough night for the Barnstormers hitters. They have gotten 1 run on the board against Perry, who started the evening with a 1.85 ERA. Breaking ball dances in there. Nice pitch from Gardner. It's 1-1 on Snyder. Joe would like to have that one stretch from the first inning back. Gave up 3 runs there and then a 2-out run in the 3rd inning. Fouled away. It is 1-2. Frias made the error on the very first play of the night. But since then, he's made up for it. The tag on Valdespin, trying to steal in the first inning.
Right.
The relay throw to get Puckett in the third, and then a great play against Valdespin in the fourth inning. 1-2 on Snyder. The motion, Gardner to the plate. That's fought off. The count remains 1-2. They have gone to the seventh inning over in York. The Revs are up 4-0 over Sugar Land. The Revs are not out of it, but their path to a first half title is very narrow.
Yes.
Swung on, foul tip. Castile holds that. Gardner chalks up strikeout number 2 tonight. One away, and Lou Ford coming to the plate.
Well, before we get to Lou Ford, a quick out-of-town score on the Major League side of things. The New York Mets and Dodgers 0-0 midway through the fifth. The Pirates scoreless through 5 now with the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Orioles and Braves 0-0 in the third. Pitch outside for a ball. Last score we'll update you with. Phillies up 4-2, the start of the fourth inning against the Washington Nationals. Odubel Herrera is the first center fielder in Phillies history to hit a home run in 5 straight games after doing so today. Swing
and a miss. It's 1-1. What hasn't he done this year? A lot of Phillies first, a lot of record streaks.
47-game on-base streak earlier in the year as well. Yeah, he's been red hot.
1-1 to Ford. Swing and a miss at the fastball. Make it a ball and 2 strikes. The run with 2 outs in the third inning, very important for the Ducks in this game tonight. Ball 2 is high, 2-2. That was kind of a momentum saver, I think.
Oh, yeah. In the second inning, for sure.
But that fourth run, Ford with a pop-up right side, Hobson coming over in front of his own dugout, not even to the apron. He makes the catch. Ford's actually been retired twice in a row. Moral victory. David Washington to the plate. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI. Well, no matter what happens tonight, the Barnstormers will wake up in sole possession of first place for the 42nd consecutive day tomorrow. But as I said last night, it's waking up having first place in the first half on July 6th is what matters.
Yes.
The ball is outside 1-0. It's not who's in first place the longest, it's who's in first place at the end.
And a week or a series can change everything. They got swept by the New Britain Bees, and you didn't expect that to happen. And when it did, now all of a sudden that lead gets minimized a little bit. Next week you have a ton of games against the Skeeters. That's the playoffs. That is the first half playoff games.
What the Barnstormers need to do this weekend, and what they need York to do for them this weekend as well, is set it up so that if Lancaster wins 3 of the 7 next week, they're in really good shape for winning the half. And I think that's got to be the objective here over the next couple of days.
Right.
And Lancaster needs help from York for that to happen. 3-0 pitch, fouled away. It's 3-1 on David Washington. 2 outs, nobody on in the 5th inning. Even if the Barnstormers are still a game and a half up going into that series, but York has beaten Sugar Land a couple of times this weekend, then 3 out of the 7 will very possibly do it for the Barnstormers. I'm not going to say likely, but very possibly, because Lancaster, if York beats Sugar Land 3 of these remaining 6 games, then the Barnstormers will get the second tiebreaker. Foul ball ringing back, still 3-2 to Washington.
Now that caught Castile, actually caught him in his hand. Hand, wrist area, have to be careful with that kind of stuff. Guys get hurt there. Catchers, especially some of the strongest guys on the field, they have to withstand a lot.
2 outs, nobody on. Here's a 3-2 on Washington. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Gardner's retired 6 in a row. The Ducks down in 1-2-3 fashion in the 5th. We're halfway through regulation at the end of 4.5 innings. Long Island 4, Lancaster 1.
We can't help but always want more, especially on the road. More horsepower, heightened handling, elevated design. Get more out of your drive with a Lexus IS. Bold styling, track-tuned handling, available 311 horsepower. Experience the exhilaration of the IS350 and IS300. Available in F-Sport and all-wheel drive. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg.
Enjoy weekends with the Barnstormers all season long. Every Friday evening home game will feature a different giveaway ranging from t-shirts to beach towels to backpacks. On Saturdays, enjoy the best entertainment doubleheader there is with Barnstormers baseball followed by fireworks. Sundays are fun days at the ballpark. Get autographs from some of your favorite Barnstormers players and play catch on the field before the game. Once the game is over, it's a Domino's Pizza Kids Base Run. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. And we'll see you at the ballpark.
Services including IT infrastructure development, network support, and ongoing monitoring of IT systems for small and medium-sized businesses.
The Barnstormers have run into full throttle Bennett Perry tonight, but they're still within reach in this ball game, and Perry's going at a clip where he's unlikely to be able to go all 9 innings. Lancaster has to stick around, and maybe, just maybe, the ball club can pull out another game against the Long Island bullpen. These two ball clubs have just battled tooth and nail for 7 games this year, 5 one-run games. Carlos Garcia leads off the 5th. He struck out his first time up and squares the bunt, takes a pitch low, ball 1, no strikes. Perry averaging about 18 pitches per inning. He does tend to go deep into counts. He has struck out 8. He has walked 2. Garcia up there 1-0 to Carlos. High fly ball center field. Having a bit of a hard time initially picking it up is Bonifacio, but he's there and it's out number 1.
Yeah, well, that wind is blowing a bit now.
Tyler Bortnick will step in. He popped a short back in the 3rd inning. Unlikely that Perry will get to the strikeout record against the Barnstormers at 15 by Patrick Stanley.
Well, they say no, but I guess I don't know.
You'd have to strike out. I don't see him
pretty
going
much every
past
batter
7
he
innings.
faces. Yeah.
Bortnick takes a strike here. It's 0-1.
Has went 7 innings multiple times this season already. And he's been in a groove. So has Joe Gardner, minus the 1st inning, really. I mean, there's a little bit of trouble in the 3rd, but other than that, he's had a decent start.
Foul ball back to the screen, and now to Bortnick, it's 0-2.
I think for Gardner, when I look back at that 1st inning, I mean, especially the general pace of this game, that 1st inning just felt like it was boom, boom, boom. You know, they just kept coming in waves, and I don't think Gardner was ever able to really compose himself. By the time he was, it was too late and 3 runs crossed.
2 strikes on Bortnick, and he gets to go back and gets a different set of batting gloves. I've seen new bat. I've seen reapplied pine tar or whatever adhesive substance, semi-adhesive substance that they use now. But new batting gloves in the middle of an AB, that's different.
Yeah, break them in.
Well, it's possible a strap broke there. I didn't see it happen.
That's true, too.
0-2 on Tyler Bortnick. 5 in a row retired by Perry since the Barnstormers scored their 1 run. Oh, good patience by Bortnick there.
Yep.
He nearly bit for the breaking ball low. Laid off at the last second. It's ball 1-1-2.
And that was a go-to strikeout pitch that's been used by Perry several times in this game.
Left-hander will come to the plate, jamming Bortnick. It's fouled off the guide wire and into the crowd. But again, every pitch Perry has to throw now is one he's not going to be able to throw later in the ballgame.
Right.
Bortnick keeping this AB going.
78th pitch of the game about to be tossed in by Perry. Time called by Bortnick and granted.
If you force him to throw 14, 15 pitches this inning, he may be done after 6. And that's as far as he's gotten against the Barnstormers previously.
Yep.
1-2. Bortnick slaps a foul outside first. That was nearly effective.
Fouling those off, though, continues to climb that count. Important stuff for Lancaster right now. No bullpen action on either side. Gardner's been able to minimize his count. Looks like he'll come out for the 6th.
Joe settling down after that rocky first inning. Breaking ball, chopped back to the hill. Perry goes up for it and fires to first. 2 outs here in the home half of the 5th inning. Darian Sanford to the plate. Sanford walked and scored the run back in the 3rd inning.
The center fielder, Darian Sanford.
Just to define Bennett Perry's night in a microcosm, he has struck out Blake Galen twice. Do you know how hard that is to do? He's made Blake look bad both times.
Yeah.
Galen
chased both of them.
Yeah, that is hard to do. Now
Yeah.
Here is Sanford. Try and get something going with 2 outs. Perry to the plate. Darian line drive off the glove of the diving shortstop Lyons and out into center. Darian Sanford with a 2-out single. The Barnstormers have a runner on. And you know, Sanford, with that very short swing and choking up on the bat, may have the right idea against Perry. Well, the Barnstormers pick up their 3rd hit, and here's Galen, who certainly doesn't want to be fooled a 3rd time.
No. Halfway to the golden sombrero, but Blake Galen, a disciplined hitter, guy in the 300s, 11 home runs. We talked about that earlier today. And here's a chance to cause some danger and perhaps a little bit of havoc for Perry.
Sanford's going to go. The pitch is a called strike, and the throw by Affinier nearly gets into center. It was saved by Lyons. Sanford steals his 34th. Remember, the last one was changed to a wild pitch. Barnstormers move a runner into scoring position, and that could be big here. 1 strike, the count on Galen. Blake will just try and shorten up and drive a base hit someplace.
The thing I will say, though, is Perry has not been phased with runners in scoring position before.
At all. Into the dirt. That will bounce away from Affinier. Sanford advances to 3rd. Stolen base, followed by a wild pitch. Galen digging in at a ball and a strike. Long Island 4, Lancaster 1, bottom of the 5th inning. Perry hasn't had many analgesic moments in the game tonight, but those that he has had have been created by Darian Sanford.
Right.
1-1. Breaking ball is high to Galen. 2 balls and a strike. If Blake reaches, suddenly Castile is the possible tying run in the game.
They've got Ryan Castile's name up already on the scoreboards. Wrong guy.
To Galen, 2-1 pitch, popped up behind the plate. Affinier sheds the mask, darts back toward the screen, but he runs out of room. He needed about 5 more feet between home plate and the backstop here.
Yeah.
Galen batting at 2-2.
Umpire didn't get in the way that time. I think he may have learned his lesson.
But the screen did.
Yes, it did.
They've gone to the bottom of the 7th in York. The Revs are still up 4-0.
Good news for the Barnstormers. They can't scoreboard watch right now. We certainly can, and they can continue to improve on this scoreboard in which they trail by 3.
2-2 to Blake Galen. Perry will deliver. That's line to left, a base hit. It's 4-2. Galen is going to try and catch him napping, and he will beat the throw into second. Galen's hitting streak alive at 12. You can fool him once, you can fool him twice. It didn't work a 3rd time. Galen comes through. 4-2, and it brings on Castile. Great piece of hitting by Blake Galen.
And you mentioned sort of choke up on the bat and not try and push the ball far. That was about mid area in left field, just enough for it to drop in front, and a good double by Blake Galen.
And it took Washington a while to get there. Castile gets a breaking ball high, 1-0. Well, the Barnstormers close in here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Down now by 2. Galen at second, ball 1 on Castile. Perry to the plate. Castile swings over the top of that filthy breaking stump.
Yeah.
It is 1-1.
And this might be where Perry goes back to that. He's been throwing a few more pitches in the strike zone. Maybe he tries to get away from that, see if Castile will chase.
Here's the 1-1. Strike two at the letters. Castile, not so sure.
I don't know if you're going to call that a changeup or not. It certainly wasn't a fastball, though.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Castile, who singled in a run back in the 3rd inning. Perry about to serve his 89th pitch of the night. And 1-2, Castile swings and misses. That came down and in. 9 strikeouts now for Bennett Perry, but the Barnstormers pick up 1 run on 2 hits, no errors. They leave Galen in scoring position, and through 5 innings, it's now Long Island 4, Lancaster 2.
I'm a chef. Pleasing my patrons' palates is paradise. But lately, when I hear a cheer from the dining room, it's Keno from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Sure, it could be my veggie lasagna, but chances are it's customers picking numbers to win cash with drawings every 4 minutes. Keno's fun, exciting, and you can enjoy it as an appetizer or a main course. Hey, everything tastes better with winning. Keno, it's here. Played at your favorite bar or restaurant.
Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Enjoy a weeknight with the Barnstormers and leave with your wallet largely intact. Come on out on Munchie Mondays for all you can eat nachos, dogs, fries, popcorn, and soda for 2 hours. Or how about Koozie Tuesdays, where fans of legal age can enjoy $2 domestic drafts from 6:30 to 8. Bring your dog on Wiener Wednesdays and enjoy delicious dollar dogs as well. Or on Thrifty Thursday, popcorn is just $1, sodas are $2, and lawn seats are only $3. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. And we'll see you at the ballpark.
Something that Blake Galen has done, and the streak continues with the RBI double in the bottom of the 5th inning tonight. This is remarkable. He has either scored or driven in a run in 17 straight games.
Wow.
Tonight he drives one home, his 47th RBI of the year. 12-game hitting streak for Galen. Now Joe Gardner matches up against Taylor Ard as we go to the top of the 6th inning in what is now a 2-run ball game, 4-2 Long Island. Gardner into his motion. The pitch to Ard is ball 1 inside. Right now, the Barnstormers need Joe Gardner to pitch a scoreless inning, and then they'll have the momentum on their side. Ground ball foul up the third baseline out toward the tarp. Ard bats at 1-1. Gardner's retired 6 in a row since the RBI double by Offenier back in the 3rd inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gardner to the plate. Breaking ball. A nice one in there, a called strike. And it is 1-2.
Right, and this is the time of the game in which both guys, Gardner and Perry, could be at their last innings. And you just try to minimize the damage of your Joe Gardner.
Smash foul to the fencing in front of the third base dugout.
The Barnstormers batters have given this team a chance to win and a chance to climb back in, but yet I think some credit has to go to Joe for just being able to sort of rest easy after that 1st inning.
Yeah, that 1st inning was bad. 2 balls and 2 strikes, but he could have gotten out of that, I still believe, with 2 runs and not 3. If the Barnstormers defensively make one play or the other, if either Frias gets the force out at second, and now 3-2 on Ard as that just missed. Ard walked last time up after falling behind 0-2, and now we get to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Gardner rears back, brings home the 3-2, got him, a breaking ball, swung on and missed. Joe with his 4th strikeout. In steps Puckett. But again, you go back to that 1st inning when they had, after the RBI single by Washington, made it a 2-0 ball game. Ard hit the smash diving stop by Frias, but he tried to start a double play. If he just got one there, then you could have gotten the final out on the Puckett ground ball. Or if the Barnstormers turned the double play on the Puckett ground ball, but Bortnick had trouble getting the ball out of his glove on the relay.
That's true.
It could be a 1-run game. Fastball, a second strike on Puckett. It's 0-2.
Well, you talked about that because there were so many ground balls in that inning, so it's hard to even necessarily fault Gardner for his pitch selection. He induced some ground ball out opportunities.
Swing and a miss. Gardner begins to roar back with a vengeance here. Strikeout number 5 for Joe. Now Afenier will step to the plate, the last man to reach base for the Ducks with the 2-out RBI double back in the third inning. Gardner's pitch taken high by Afenier. Ball 1, no strikes. Top half of the 6th inning, Long Island ahead 4-2. Gardner comes back. That's grounded toward the middle. Bortnick to the other side of second base. A backhanded stop. He fires on for the out. Some more nice defense by the Lancaster Barnstormers. Bortnick a long way to his right. The other side of second base, picking up that grounder and throwing on to get Afenier. Joe Gardner, his third straight 1-2-3 inning. The Barnstormers stepping in the bottom of the 6th, down 4-2.
Learn from the pros right here in Lancaster. The Lancaster Barnstormers are offering 2 3-day-long youth clinics this summer with instruction on pitching, hitting, fielding, and base running. Each session, led by veteran professional players, will last from 9 until noon with lunch to follow. Choose from June 19th to 21st or July 24th to 26th. So learn what it takes to succeed on the field and off. Call the Barnstormers office at 717-509-HITS or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. Space is limited. Act now.
Introducing the all-new Lexus RX 350L, designed for room. Room for a power-folding third row. Room for up to 7. And room for the unexpected. The 3-row RXL. It's the RX with room for more. Experience the innovative RXL and RXL Hybrid. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg.
RX 450HL arriving spring 2018.
The Lancaster Barnstormers look to Nick Bennett Perry again here in the 6th inning. 89 pitches for the left-hander tonight. He looks to become the first opposing pitcher to strike out 10 batters in a game this season. He has 9 through 5 innings. Trayvon Robinson leads off the bottom of the 6th, but Lancaster has sort of slowly worked its way back into this game, one that looked like it could be very lopsided by about the 3rd inning. It's 4-2 as Robinson leads off the 6th. Perry to the plate. Trayvon missed it by a foot.
Hey, every time you come to the ballpark, you have 27 outs to work with. And the score that the Ducks put up early, it was just that. It was a score they put up early. A lot of time to work back into this game, and they've cut that lead in half. Still plenty of outs to work with.
0-1 to Robinson. Perry comes back. Trayvon shows bunt and takes a ball outside and low, 1-1. The last time Robinson was up, he struck out looking at a fastball. So Perry starts him off here with a pitch 1.5 feet out of the zone, off speed, and Robinson went for it. It's now 1 ball and 1 strike.
Catch a batter chasing.
The next offering, Robinson shows bunt again and looks at the fastball there for a second strike. It's 1-2.
And I could see Trayvon just sort of looked back and just disagreeing with his approach right now, it seems. These guys, I think they're no worse. People can talk about media all they want. The worst critics in this game are the players themselves on themselves.
1-2. Robinson lays off.
Yeah,
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Almost bit.
Perry has just dazzled Barnstormers hitters tonight like he has done to everybody else he has come across for the 8th consecutive start. As a matter of fact, the Barnstormers, relatively speaking, a lot of success tonight. Robinson just gets a piece to stay alive. And they're only the second team in Perry's last 8 starts to score 2 runs. Trayvon Robinson battling 2-2, trying to get on base. Starts something here in the bottom of the 6th. He won't go for it. Ball 3 is low. And even at this, you're forcing Perry to throw a lot more pitches. He's at 95 now.
Yeah, Perry can minimize the damage. He gets his 5th straight quality start after this, assuming that it's it for him after the 6th inning.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Robinson awaits and chases ball 4. It's what Perry has done all night long. 10 strikeouts for the left-hander with that devastating off-speed pitch.
96 pitches for Perry. If you're at all interested, the most he's thrown this year is June 12th, 117. That was against Southern
May have a
Maryland.
7th inning in him.
Yeah, maybe.
Casey Hobson has doubled and struck out tonight. Barnstormers have managed 4 hits off the lefty. He has walked 2. To Hobson, first pitch swinging, a towering fly ball to right and foul. It is 0-1. Hobson with the double to right center in the 2nd inning, and his last at bat started off with a similar ball hit well but foul. 0-1 to KC. 4-2, Ducks leading, bottom half of the 6th inning. Perry into his motion. Big breaking ball arcs into the zone. It's a 2nd strike to Hobson. Joe Gardner has kept the Barnstormers within reach here. Now the 0-2. Perry serves it up. That is swung on and missed. The tag will be applied by Offenir. Make it 11. 2 outs. Coronado will come to the plate. He has struck out twice.
Anything you can do, I can do better, right? Joe Gardner comes out, strikes out the first 2 guys in the top half of the 6th, and Perry just says, well, I can do it too. So these guys look like they're getting better as it's going on.
80 strikeouts for Perry in 54 1/3 innings.
Wow.
So you boil that down, that's better than 13 strikeouts per 9 innings on the season. Coronado stands in, Perry to the plate. Ball 1 is low. A ball and nothing.
A lot of fans here tonight for a Friday, and that's pretty typical. Weekend crowds are always more, some fans like the offense, but I think if you're a true baseball enthusiast, you appreciate the pitching performance here.
You understand what Perry is doing. We can't see it from here, but at the plate, that changeup has to look just like the fastball coming out of his hand. It has to look exactly the same.
A lot of movement.
Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Not the movement, but the motion has to look exactly the same.
So
Fastball,
you're saying
changeup.
when he
the
steps,
arm motion, everything will look identical on an effective changeup. So you think it's the fastball coming, and then if that ball darts low or darts away, you're chasing it. You think it's a fastball.
Yeah,
Your brain
I see what you mean.
is processing fastball.
Right.
1 ball, 2 strikes here to Coronado. Perry has Nate set up for possibly strikeout number 12.
103rd pitch today.
And it's fouled back. Still a ball and 2 strikes. RBI single for Castile in the 3rd. RBI double for Galen in the 5th. Both times it has been Sanford scoring. Darian's on to something. Here comes the 1-2. Coronado lines it into left field, a base hit. A 2-out base runner for Vladimir Frias. Hit number 5 for the Barnstormers. Good recovery by Coronado there. Frias steps in as the possible tying run, though he has never hit a home run right-handed as a Barnstormer.
Guys getting up and stretching in the Long Island bullpen, but no throwing action. This is the inning for Perry, who's into triple digits with his pitch count now.
Coronado leads off first. Frias has struck out and popped up. Swing and a miss at the fastball. He was behind at 0-1. The mix for Perry has been brilliant.
Yeah, generating a lot of swings today.
You start looking for the changeup. He gets the fastball by you. Down low, it is ball 1, strike 1 to Vladimir. Carlos Garcia is due next.
And you mentioned it A couple of times already, he's been cheating the batters. He's flat out cheating them. They're swinging at pitches, a lot of which that are not strikes.
Ball 2, low and outside to Frias. And that pitch, the first time I've seen it, that pitch looked like Perry's tiring. He kind of fell off
Yeah.
to the side. Looked like he may have forced it up there.
Yeah, I mean, I know he threw 117, but that was his last, 2 starts ago? I don't think he's...
There's a 2-1. Frias fouls it back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. If you're going to do it on a given night, tonight with the cooler temperatures would probably be the night.
Right. I mean, I just...
But this is pitch 109 coming up. I don't see him coming back out for a 7th inning.
I don't think they're trying to get this guy to gun out 130.
Here's a 2-2. Frias lays off. Ball 3 is low. Coronado will get the start from first.
I'd have to think if he walks Frias, there could be a mound visit coming.
It's possible. 3-2. A number of Perry strikeouts have come on 3-2 pitches. The runner goes, the pitch foul to the screen. And we'll do it all again. And now I have to be fairly certain this is Perry's last inning. Won't be his last batter. They don't have anybody ready in the bullpen.
Well, unless he strikes him out or he gets an out here on Frias, then I think it might be.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Coronado will be taking off again. Art is dropped behind him. The payoff from Perry. Ground ball to first. Backhanded play by Art. He'll take it to the bag himself. 3 unassisted. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. The Barnstormers are through 6. Long Island continues to lead 4-2.
Like craft beers, local wines? Well, the best place to be in Lancaster then is Clipper Magazine Stadium. That's right, all new for 2018 is the Broken Bat Deck down the right field line. The Broken Bat will feature more than 20 local craft breweries and product from 2 local wineries. If something with a little more kick is your adult beverage of choice, a local distillery is part of the Broken Bat as well. Food will be sold off a pub-style menu, so get together, hang out with your friends, make some new ones, and enjoy a night of craft beer sampling along with a Barnstormers game.
AMT Concerts presents Rock at the Park Festival, Saturday, July 21st, featuring sets from Fuel, Eve 6, Sister Hazel, Long Beach Dub All-Stars, Fastball, and more. Rock at the Park, Saturday, July 21st, at Clipper Magazine Stadium, Lancaster. Tickets on sale now at rockatthepark.com.
Joe Gardner stays on the hill for the Barnstormers. Dan Lyons leads off the 7th inning for Long Island. He is 0 for 2. Gardner's first pitch, a high bouncer over the head of the drawn-in third baseman Garcia, and out the left field. The Lions will make a turn and hold up at first base. The Ducks have specialized in that at their ballpark. Lions with that high chopping single. Garcia was playing in against the bunt. The leadoff man is on in the Long Island 7th. Ross Peoples asks for time. They've got a string of left-handed and switch hitters coming up. The 7th hit off of Gardner. It ruins a streak of 9 consecutive batters retired. Jordani Valdespin, the scheduled batter, he is 0 for 3. Can't fault Gardner for that one. Leadoff single for Lions in this 7th inning. Gardner will get the stay in the ball game. Conference breaks up. Valdespin steps in. He has reached on a Frias error, and he's had his pockets picked by Vladimir.
Yeah.
4 runs on now 7 hits, no errors, 2:04 left for Long Island. The Barnstormers 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. Lancaster has left 5 men on base. The Barnstormers have turned this into a ball game, but they can't give up anything here. Wander Perez warming up in the bullpen for Long Island. I would expect to see him in the bottom of the 7th inning. Lob toss over to first with Lyons chased back. Dan Lyons 0 for 1, stealing bases. Little gray in the hair for Lyons.
Yeah.
I've noticed. Seen him a couple times down at the cage.
More salt than pepper.
Here's a pitch to Valdespin. That runs outside. Ball 1. Barnstormers getting a left-hander, throwing in the bullpen. Can't see quite around the corner. I believe it's John Anderson.
Definitely a lefty.
1-0, high and outside, 2-0. The decision to start Gardner here in the 7th inning, an understandable one, but it hasn't worked out so well just yet.
Well, he let up sort of a bloop single, so
well, not a bloop, a Baltimore chop. The Ducks have that down. We're going to rename it the Long Island chop. 2-0, way outside, 3-0. And now Gardner really in a fix against Valdespin with a runner on and nobody out.
Has Gardner went 7 innings yet this year?
No. He threw 6 innings exactly, 4 starts in a row, and then 5 1/3 the last time out.
I thought so when I saw him walk out.
Here's a 3-0 pitch taken for a strike on the inside corner. Valdespin up with the elbows, hoping to get a ball 4 call. One final in the Atlantic League, the Bees over the Road Warriors 3-2 in a 2-hour, 12-minute game up at New Britain Stadium.
New Britain has stormed back.
That's a very good ball club. Strike 2 to the inside corner.
Think about how tough of a start they had in the year.
Losing all 6 at Sugar Land. Yeah. If that doesn't happen in our division, right. The Barnstormers all but putting it away.
Right.
And New Britain fell out of the race right away. Since that first series, New Britain would be right in the mix.
Yeah.
In the Liberty division. 3-2, runner takes off. Ground ball, that is a foul ball outside third. And here comes Kevin Baez to argue with Derek Moshe. It skipped about at the corner of the bag, but the discussion is short.
I'll be honest, I'm going to agree with home plate umpire Derek Moshe.
I think it was foul past the corner of the bag, and Baez didn't carry on for very long. He was trying to get the call out of Moshe, but I think he realized that Moshe was probably right there. It was close. Back to first, Lions, 3-2 on Valdespin. And you talk about baseball being a game of inches. If that's a fair ball, Long Island has the Barnstormers in a world of hurt. Runner goes again, 3-2. Little blooper out into right center field. It's down for a base hit. Lions will go to third. Great piece of hitting by Valdespin on the hit and run, but theoretically you're supposed to hit that ball on the ground.
Right.
And this is 2 pretty weak hits off Gardner in the 7th inning, but the Ducks are trying to put this game away, and they're in good shape to do so.
Yeah.
Valdespin just reached out, flicked the bat. If that ball hangs up and is hit the Sanford in center, Lions is in trouble.
Absolutely,
you could get a cheap double play out of it. Well, back to the mound comes Ross Peoples. The bad inning for Gardner was the first, not this 7th inning, though he leaves in trouble, a Baltimore chop and a bloop. And runners are at first and third with nobody out. John Anderson will take over with the score 4-2 in the 7th inning. We're going to pause for these messages.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com. Local Flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com. Local Flavor. Localflavor.com. Local Flavor.
John Anderson takes over from Joe Gardner, who's unable to get an out here in the 7th inning. And you may wonder why Ross left Gardner in the ballgame. I'll tell you why. 9 outs in a row. His pitch count wasn't terribly high. And it's not like Ross made a mistake. It's just Gardner has an unfortunate start to the 7th inning. A high bouncing single over the head of the third baseman Garcia.
Right.
And then on a hit and run, Valdespin, just with a little blooper, out into center field. So it's first and third, nobody out, but nothing exactly a clothesline here in the 7th inning. Anderson coming in, he'll face the switch hitting Emilio Bonifacio, and the Barnstormers need something positive to happen here. Anderson has been excellent again this year. This is his 18th appearance. He has no record to save, a 2 ERA, 14 hits, 6 walks, and 17 strikeouts in 18 innings of work. Can he get through Bonifacio and then Snyder without allowing Lyons to score? It's going to be tricky. Here's the pitch to Bonifacio. Swing and a miss. It's strike one.
Yeah, certainly a jam that John Anderson is coming into, and the Barnstormers need all the help they can get. You almost don't even want to give a sac fly here and just allow another run to get by, because then you're down by 3.
And Long Island gets a little bit of momentum back.
Right.
To Bonifacio, check swing, but strike 2 is there. 0-2. Anderson has stranded 10 of 11 inherited runners this year, a stat that I consider to be very important.
I would
he
agree
helps
with that.
out his bullpen mates and sometimes the starter. 0-2 on Bonifacio. Anderson ready to go out of the stretch. He'll bring it home and miss inside and low. Moving Bonifacio's feet. It is ball 1, 2 strikes. Former Toronto farmhand John Anderson got to AAA Buffalo a couple of times. Working 1 and 2 on the switch hitting Bonifacio, who hit a home run back of the first, bunted for a base hit in the second, grounded out in the 4th against Gardner. 1-2 pitch, lashed to short. Frias goes to Bortnick 1, back to first. That's a double play. But Lyons does score. It's 5-2. 6-4-3 on the twin killing. No RBI for Bonifacio. 2 outs, nobody on. That'll also close the books on Gardner. 6+ innings tonight, 8 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, and a hit batter. And he struck out 5. Again, this inning somewhat unfortunate as the Barnstormers give up that extra run. Now down by 3 once again, and needing to recover against the Long Island bullpen. 2 outs, nobody on. Snyder steps in, 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Sharp ground ball right at Hobson. KC will dig it up. That's about as well as you can do it for John Anderson. 4 pitches, 3 outs. But a run does score on 2 hits, no errors, nobody left. Time for the 7th inning stretch at Clipper Magazine Stadium with Long Island up 5-2.
You're totally probably safe to ride on your spare for what, 6, maybe 9 months?
Don't trust the wrong advice. Get the right tires at the right price right away. It's what we've been doing at Jack Williams Tire right here in Pennsylvania since our family started this business back in 1929. Because doing things the right way is just the Williams way. Get the right tires right now at JackWilliams.com.
Lancaster Bible College has been around since 1933, but did you know that they offer degrees in much more than just Bible? LBC offers degrees in criminal justice, business, professional counseling, and more, as well as graduate and seminary degrees in areas like Christian care, chaplaincy, education, and leadership studies. To learn more about LBC and the programs they offer, visit lbc.edu. That's lbc.edu. We've seen the end of Bennett Perry here tonight. He pitched a marvelous game. The Barnstormers actually handled him as well as anybody has since his first Atlantic League start. Perry goes 6 innings, gives up 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned, with 2 walks and 11 strikeouts. That ties just his 3rd best total of the season, most against the Barnstormers all year. And now Wander Perez, another left-hander, will take over for the Long Island Ducks. A side-wheeler is Perez. 2-1 with a save. That's against the Barnstormers. And a 2.33 earned run average for Perez. They'll face Garcia, Bortnick, and Sanford here in the bottom of the 7th. Lancaster needs to make some noise. The good news, York has held on. The Revs beat Sugarland 4-1 in the opener of the 3-game series at Peoples Bank Park. Temporarily, the Barnstormers' lead is back to 2. First offering here, a little looper that'll be handled by Lyons. 1 pitch, and Garcia's retired. Tyler Bortnick stepping in. He's 0 for 2. So the worst that'll happen tonight is that the Barnstormers will continue to lead the division by a game and a half. And then the worst that can happen going to Texas is the Barnstormers being down by half a game, and they would still be sitting in really good shape if they win 4 out of 7 in that series, and maybe not bad shape, even if they win 3 out of 7, but 4 out of 7 would put them in very good shape.
I still think the outcome of this weekend is going to be critical in terms of where we are. And I'm talking about
jockeying
the outcome
for position
here
is what it
and
is.
there, York and Sugarland as well.
1 ball, no strikes, and Tyler Bortnick gets ball 2 off the plate to the inside. Well, obviously, if one team or the other dominates that 7-game series next week, they're in.
Yeah.
It's a question of if you win 3, can you make it? If you win 4, can you make it? 2-0, Bortnick line drive and a base hit to left. That's 1 guy on here in the 7th inning. The 6th Barnstormer hit of the night.
Yep. First time Bortnick gets on.
Darian Sanford will step in. He has scored both Barnstormers' runs. Now, if Sanford can reach base here, you get Galen up as the possible tying run. Galen obviously made an adjustment against Perry. It took him to his 3rd at bat to do it. 12-game hitting streak for Galen. Sanford could always bunt. Puckett plays up over at 3rd. Bortnick is on with 1 out here. Perez to the plate and low. Ball 1, no strikes. The Ducks have not contributed any mistakes defensively, save for a couple of wild pitches from Perry. Swing and a miss. Sanford even with Perez at 1-1. This side slinger, a former member of the Bridgeport Bluefish, and Perez, a guy who can be extremely effective.
Yep, reached as high as high A. Spent his first 4 seasons his first 4 pro seasons in the White Sox organization. Did Perez?
1-1. Sanford offers it. The pitch down low, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Perez lives in Tucson, 33 years of age. He's got Sanford at 1-2, Galen waiting on deck. The Barnstormers need runs. Down by 3 here in the 7th inning. Sanford awaits the 1-2, pops it up foul. He wants that pitch back.
Yeah. I was going to say,
you always know what Darian's thinking when he's batting.
He gives it away. He's not deceptive. 1
ball and 2 strikes. One out, Bortnick the runner at first base. Sanford trying to put the Barnstormers in position to rally here in the 7th inning. Perez with the 1-2 offering. Sanford couldn't hold on the swing. He goes down on strikes. And he gets thrown out of the game by Derek Moshe. He threw his bat. So Sanford strikes out, and he is ejected.
Sanford is an animated guy, a really fun guy to be around, but he's got to learn to control that sometimes. I think it's not the first time you see sometimes his temper gets the best of him. Frustration, maybe.
Hitters will tell you on a play like that, they want the base umpire making the call, not the home plate umpire, because the team in the field can always appeal. The hitter cannot.
Right.
Now it's 2 outs and Galen stepping in, but we have to wait for Darian Sanford to leave the playing field before the game can continue. 2 outs in the inning. Now Galen will try to reach and set up Castile. I'm trying to think what the Barnstormers are going to do here to reshuffle the deck. They've got Josh Bell active. I don't know if Noel can come in and play or not. Grant Desmay is inactive now with the ball club. Realistically, they've got De La Rosa and Bell available off the bench. You may see JB in the infield.
Bell trying to
Robinson,
make a comeback.
He played last year.
Right.
He works out all the time. It was just a question of when he would see action this year ultimately. Well, there are just some various options that the Barnstormers have. One of them is that De La Rosa comes in to catch, and I think that's what they're doing. Castile goes to first. Hobson goes to right, Galen to left, Robinson to center. Might be my guess, but we'll figure it all out once we get to the top of the 8th. Meanwhile, Galen is in trying to get something accomplished on offense. Breaking ball misses. It's ball 1. Oh, tempers have been getting a little short. Sanford is the 3rd Barnstormer to be ejected on a ball strike decision at home plate. 2 on location now, 1 on the swing. Castile has been tossed. Hobson was tossed right at the end of the game the other night.
Right.
Meanwhile, Galen's up there 2-0.
And with Sanford, the thing is you lose on both sides because he's very good defensively out in center.
Yeah, you lose his speed. And you lose some maneuverability in the late innings.
Right.
To the outside corner on Galen, he wasn't so sure about that. It is 2-1. But at least the Barnstormers cannot lose ground here tonight. That is very important right now. The runner goes, Galen swings away and fouls it off. Sooner or later, the Barnstormers will get this hit and run thing down. It's set up an insurance run for the Ducks in the top of the inning. We just cannot seem to hit the ball in an open spot in fair territory on a hit and run. No matter what we do,
about it.
we either hit it right at somebody or hit a foul ball. 2-2 pitch coming. Galen looks at ball 3 away. He's worked it to a full count. Blake right now just trying to get Castile up there as the tying run. With a right-hander throwing in the bullpen for Long Island. That's probably O'Grady, but I haven't been able to see a number. Kind of looks like him. Payoff to Galen. Swung on and hammered to the wall and right. Is it high enough? Way back it goes, and the walls will not contain it. Blake Galen with a 2-run homer. We've got a 1-run game. His 12th home run of the year lined up onto the deck. Bortnick scores ahead of it, and the Barnstormers are within 1. What can you say about Galen?
And what can you say? Well, we talked about this. Bennett Perry, you knew the Barnstormers may have been having their fits with him. It was, can we get to the bullpen? And right there, a big cut into this deficit with a 2-run shot. His 12th of the year. He leads the Atlantic League. Blake Galen is white hot at this point, and the Barnstormers are very well within striking distance.
Now Castile with a fly ball to right, but he doesn't have the knack of getting the distance to right field. Snyder there to make the catch. Castile has been bidding for that wall this entire series, but he keeps coming up about 30 feet short. Lancaster gets 2 runs back, though. 2 hits. No errors, nobody left. We're going to the 8th. 5-4 Long Island.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
De La Rosa, Castillo. Well, the moves are as I expected, with Darian Sanford having been thrown out of the game. Trayvon Robinson will take over in center. Blake Galen moves to left. Casey Hobson goes out to right field. Ryan Castile will be at first base, and Anderson De La Rosa comes in to catch. So ultimately, the only guy back right now is Josh Bell. And hard to imagine a guy pinch hitting for his first AB of the year in a close ball game in the late innings, but you never quite know. Huáscar Brazoban, meanwhile, takes over on the hill. What a job done by John Anderson. Throws 4 pitches, gets the 3 outs in the 7th inning. Yeah, one of the inherited runners scored. But again, he kept the Barnstormers close. And what do we have? The Barnstormers and the Ducks in another one-run ball game. 5-4 as we go to the top half of the 8th. And Lou Ford will be leading off against Brazoban. Ford 1 for 3 with a run scored tonight. Facing the hard-throwing right-hander from Villamella in the Dominican Republic. Huáscar in his 9th appearance. He's given up 8 hits and 2 walks in 8 1/3 innings. 8 strikeouts and just 1 run. That was unearned. Ford is 1 for 3 in the game tonight, as I mentioned. Brazoban to the plate. Ford gets a ball high, 1-0. Well, if the Barnstormers pull this game out tonight, they cannot be trailing in the standings going to Texas. They will be in the lead. Ball 2 is up to Ford, 2-0. Well, they would have an edge automatically. Lancaster getting help from the Revs tonight, 4-1. York over Sugarland. To Ford, 2-0 pitch. Ball 3 is high. Brazoban, guy who has generally done well coming into ball games. A little rocky to start off here in the 8th inning. It's gone 3-0 on Ford, every pitch high. And there's a strike, 3-1. David Washington on deck. Again, if you're the Barnstormers, you want a 0 on the board here. Stay within 1, the right field wall in play, and a potential matchup with Hobson batting against a right-hander in the bottom of the 8th. Called
Absolutely.
Second strike, 3-2. And if that's O'Grady, there's a history. Didn't work out so well for Casey on Long Island, but Hobson is getting his swing back. Here's the payoff to Ford. Brazoban deals. This is hit in the air, right field. Casey Hobson jogging in a step or two to make the catch. Ford's retired. Great recovery by Brazoban. 1 out. Washington will step in.
820-95. If that's your ticket, take it to the fan service center. Congratulations. Now batting left field.
The reason Grant Desmay is not here is because he had a family function, I believe a family wedding this weekend out in California. We've had some fans writing in to ask, and that's why Grant is not with the ball club. He will rejoin us in Sugar Land. David Washington, the batter, Brazoban to the plate, and he fires outside, ball one. First baseman Taylor Ard waits on deck. One and 0 with one out. Brazoban comes back. Washington takes a strike, a tail to the outside edge. 1-1.
Important stuff, too, for the Barnstormers bullpen here because Lancaster took advantage of Long Island's. Now the Ducks trying to do the same thing.
1-1, cracked out the center. On comes Robinson, sliding try. Can't make the grab. Washington is on. A one-out base runner. And that's the shame of it. Sanford probably makes that catch.
Yeah.
He's a step faster
that's what
than
we were
Trayvon.
just talking about. We were talking about, you're not going to just miss him at the plate. You're going to miss him in the outfield because of his speed. He gets to so many balls in center field that I think a lot of guys out there would not be able to grab.
One out, one on. Ard steps in. He has an infield single, a walk, and a strikeout. 1 run scored in the ball game tonight. Infield set, double play depth behind Brazoban. Ducks try to put some insurance markers on the board in the 8th inning. A ball is outside to Ard, 1-0.
Long Island with another arm warming up in the bullpen. Hard to get our...
It looks like O'Grady, but I still haven't gotten the number.
Well, they're faded from here.
Yeah, and there's also a body in the way protecting him.
Right.
But it would make sense that it's O'Grady, and it does to some extent look like him. Not a terribly tall guy out there, and O'Grady is not. 1 ball, no strikes to Ard. Again, so important to put a 0 up on the board here in the top of the 8th if you're the Barnstormers and Brazoban. Runner goes, the pitch low, the throw by De La Rosa is waiting, and Washington thrown out stealing. Second Duck gunned down trying to steal here tonight.
I think
2 outs, nobody on.
I think they forgot De La Rosa came in to catch. He's got a gun of an arm, and he was able to get a man down. I mean, Castile was able to do it as well. I don't know that Castile would have made that play quite as quick.
He may have, but I think they were trying to think De La Rosa may not be entirely warmed up. He had to get in there all of a sudden, and he made a perfect throw to Bortnick. 2-4. It's 2 balls, no strikes, meanwhile on Ard.
They may not test that theory again.
To the plate, Brazoban challenges him with a fastball that swung on and missed. 2 balls and 1 strike.
For Long Island, they're just hoping for something now. This offense has went quiet a little while here.
The Ducks with a chance to pick up a game tonight on the Somerset Patriots. Southern Maryland winning big. High pop up here. The second baseman, Bortnick, calling for it, gives way to Frias. Vladimir behind the mound, puts it away. And there is your 0 in the top of the 8th. 1 hit, 1 great throw, and nobody left on base. Bottom of the 8th coming up. It is 5-4 Long Island.
We can't help but always want more, especially on the road. More horsepower, heightened handling, elevated design. Get more out of your drive with a Lexus IS. Bold styling, track-tuned handling, available 311 horsepower. Experience the exhilaration of the IS350 and IS300. Available in F-Sport and all-wheel drive. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg.
Enjoy weekends with the Barnstormers all season long. Every Friday evening home game will feature a different giveaway ranging from t-shirts to beach towels to backpacks. On Saturdays, enjoy the best entertainment doubleheader there is with Barnstormers baseball followed by fireworks. Sundays are fun days at the ballpark. Get autographs from some of your favorite Barnstormers players and play catch on the field before the game. Once the game is over, it's a Domino's Pizza Kids base run. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. And we'll see you at the ballpark.
The Ducks go back to their pen. It's not O'Grady. It is right-hander Colton Murray, not number 17, number 11, and roughly the same size. Murray, a former Philly, coming in for his third appearance. He's given up a hit and a run in 2 innings. He has walked 3, struck out 3. What he has to run into here, though, is Robinson and Hobson, the first 2 batters in a 1-run game at Clipper Magazine Stadium. After that, it would be Coronado. The Barnstormers have narrowed the gap to 1. It is 5-4 as we head into the bottom half of the 8th inning. Trayvon will lead it off. He is now the center fielder. 0 for 2 with a walk and a couple of strikeouts against the starter, Bennett Perry.
Now, Colton Murray was also with this year's started the year with New Orleans, the Miami Marlins organization. That would be the New Orleans Baby Kings. Great name for a baseball team.
Depends on how you look at it. Robinson leading off against Murray. The first pitch off the inside corner, ball 1 and no strikes. 9 hits for Long Island. The Barnstormers with 7. Blake Galen, again, the star for Lancaster. 12 home runs now, 49 runs batted in. To Robinson, the 1-0, taken for a strike on the outer edge. It is 1-1. Eric May and I were having this discussion the other night about sometimes hitters, you can tell the first couple of at-bats, they're just having a bad night and don't expect anything out of them. Galen, what an adjustment he made after looking bad on 2 strikeouts early in the game. An RBI double and a 2-run homer since then. To Robinson, 1-1, a swing and a miss against Murray. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
What's your thought on Trayvon then? Do you want to apply that theory of guys that look like they're struggling out there? Can that be said for Trayvon tonight?
It sure could. This Barnstormers team, especially guys who were around last year, a very hungry group. They want this first half title. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Robinson. Here's the motion. Murray to the plate. Breaking ball. Got him. A swing and a miss. New season high for the Barnstormers. They have struck out 13 times in this game. With 1 out, here is Hobson. He has a double and a pair of strikeouts in this one.
And unfortunately for Trayvon, that is his 3rd time down on strikes in today's game. And I agree with you there. These guys that are coming back, they're hungry for that first half title because they know it slipped through their fingertips. And now you never know where you're going to be in baseball. You never know if your contract's going to get purchased and when that day is going to come. So in the meantime, you want to leave your mark on this team and get them into the postseason.
Hobson now playing right field for the Barnstormers, awaiting the offering from Murray. Here it is, and it is a strike. 0-1. 13 Barnstormers have fanned in this game, the 12th of which led to the ejection of Darian Sanford. Josh Bell, realistically, the only guy the Barnstormers have on the bench. 0-1 to Hobson. Murray ready to go. Breaking ball in there, strike 2, and that is 5 outstanding pitches in a row from Colton Murray.
Yeah.
He has just taken over here in the 8th inning, and
right now
the Ducks look like they're riding his shoulders at the moment. Somewhat of a shift on against Hobson. No balls, 2 strikes with 1 out, nobody on base. Murray to the plate. It is low and skipping away from Offenier. Ball 1 and 2 strikes, and we'll probably see Francisco Rodriguez in the bottom of the 9th if this score holds. Lancaster trying to do something about it in the 8th. Man, when the Ducks and the Barnstormers get together, you can expect an all-out battle, and we've had it again here tonight. 1-2 to Hobson. The motion, Murray ready to go. Breaking ball, strike 3 called, and Casey knew it. 14th Barnstormer to go down on strikes. And with 2 outs, Coronado will step in.
You have to applaud Long Island's pitching.
The only Barnstormer not to have struck out in this game is Tyler Bortnick. He has popped out, bounced back to the hill, and singled. 2 outs, and here is Coronado, who has struck out twice and singled. Lancaster has put itself in position to pull this game out.
Now, if this third out gets recorded, is there a chance we see K-Rod tonight?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Coronado with a swing and a miss, challenged by Murray, who's looking to strike out the side right now here in the 8th inning. Barnstormers had not struck out more than a dozen times in a ball game this season, but they have run into a pretty hot Ducks pitching staff here tonight. Breaking ball gets there. It's 0-2. Murray has been magnificent.
He took a page out of Perry's book there with that breaking ball, that off-speed stuff.
I take that back. 12 was the left on base high. 11 was the strikeout high.
Right, all either way.
14 tonight, and Murray is on his way perhaps to another one, but Coronado was able to get out of an 0-2 hole and single the last time up. Murray ready to go. The pitch in the dirt, and ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Barnstormers hoping to be able to pull this game out here in the late innings. They'd have Frias, Garcia, Bortnick, and De La Rosa in the hole in the bottom of the 9th. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Coronado. The motion, the pitch. Breaking ball, fought off foul down the right side. And Nate stays in there at 1-2. Tomorrow night, the Barnstormers will see another lefty starter in Jake Fisher. And for Lancaster, it will be Jonathan Albaladejo.
For the record, Ducks at 14 strikeouts right now. The most as a team they did was May 30th against Sugar Land. They had 15 combined strikeouts as a team.
1-2, foul ball back. Coronado sticking around.
Might tie that number.
14 strikeouts, that was Perry.
14,
himself.
yes, but there were 15 total in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
14 of them for Perry in 5 2/3 innings.
Well, this is kind of a similar game. He has 11 of the 14 tonight.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Colton Murray to Nate Coronado, the former Philly against the Philly resident. Right-hander ready to go. The motion, the pitch in the dirt. Coronado stays at 2-2.
It's a 2-1-5 full count here between 2 Philadelphians. Murray was able to take advantage of being in the Phillies organization and getting some major league time at a period where the Phillies were not where they wanted to be, but for Murray, all the benefits in the world of getting that experience.
Barnstormers scored a run off of Murray as he was wild in his appearance last Friday night. He walked 3 and gave up a run. 2-2, Coronado swings and misses with the high fastball, and it's a 1-2-3 inning on strikeouts. 15 Ks for Long Island pitching tonight. They matched their season high, and now we're on our way to the 9th. It is Long Island 5, Lancaster 4.
I'm a chef. Pleasing my patrons' palates is paradise. But lately, when I hear a cheer from the dining room, it's Keno from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Sure, it could be my veggie lasagna, but chances are it's customers picking numbers to win cash with drawings every 4 minutes. Keno's fun, exciting, and you can enjoy it as an appetizer or a main course. Hey, everything tastes better with winning. Keno, it's here. Played at your favorite bar or restaurant.
Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Enjoy a weeknight with the Barnstormers and leave with your wallet largely intact. Come on out on Munchie Mondays for all you can eat nachos, dogs, fries, popcorn, and soda for 2 hours. Or how about Koozie Tuesdays, where fans of legal age can enjoy $2 domestic drafts from 6:30 to 8. Bring your dog on Wiener Wednesdays and enjoy delicious dollar dogs as well. Or on Thrifty Thursday, popcorn is just $1, sodas are $2, and lawn seats are only $3. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com, and we'll see you at the ballpark.
Oscar Brazaban facing Cody Puckett, Audi Affinier, and then Dan Lyons as we go to the top of the 9th inning. For the Barnstormers, it's Frias, Garcia, and Bortnick. There is a right-hander warming up in the bullpen, and I am all but certain, even without being able to pick up a number, that is K-Rod, Francisco Rodriguez, the legendary Major League closer, now a member of the Long Island Ducks. The Barnstormers, lineup-wise, are not set up terribly well in the bottom of the 9th inning. But if they get there within one, in this ballpark, anything could happen.
Absolutely.
Cody Puckett leads off against Oscar Brazaban in the 9th inning. 0 for 2 for Puckett tonight, an RBI. He has been thrown out at the plate on a close play on an Affinier double back in the 3rd inning. Brazaban delivers a strike. It is 0-1. Ross Peoples has to be exceedingly pleased with his ball club tonight. He knows how good Long Island's pitching has been in this game. And yet the Barnstormers are very much in it, a chance to pull it out. They battled, they fought. They have not just given up on tonight's game.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, they've taken pitches, maybe a little too many, but they've battled. They've tried to fight. They've tried to make this game interesting, and they certainly have. They have earned an opportunity to come to the plate in the bottom of the 9th, and perhaps they take advantage of that. But if you minimize it here, you keep it to a one-run game, like you said.
0-2 to Puckett. Barely gets to the dirt circle out of the hand of Brazaban.
One swing could change everything and anything in this ballpark, much like Blake Galen's night had been going, and all of a sudden one swing and he gets a home run. But prior to that, wasn't doing anything.
1-2, the count on Puckett. Brazaban faced 3 batters last inning. Now he's low again. Puckett refuses to chase. It is 2-2.
Do you think Francisco Rodriguez is the biggest name in the Atlantic League this season?
This season, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Bonifacio, Snyder, those guys have been around. Valdespin, a hot commodity with the Mets at one point.
Yeah.
Way inside, Brazaban's now gone the distance on Puckett, 3-2.
Another former major leaguer just joined the Atlantic League, and a former Philly, Brock Stassi.
Brock Stassi goes to New Britain.
I was at a game last year against the Mets, Phillies and Mets, where he hit his first major league home run.
Would have loved to have had him here, but
yeah.
Where do you put him? Smashed to third, backhanded dig by Garcia. Carlos finds the range on the throw, 1 out. That'll bring on Audi Affinier. When you've got Casey Hobson to play for, what do you do with Stassi? Where does he go?
Right.
I mean, if he's out there when you lose Terdoslavich, if Hobson isn't here, of course. As I recall, he is pretty much a first baseman, correct? Am I mistaken about that? I remember the story with Stassi crying when he made the Phillies ball club out of spring training.
Yeah.
That was
a big
quite
moment.
a great local story.
Yeah, it was unfortunate.
I've never watched him play. I just remember that story. 1 out. And Affinier, it is in the dirt, ball 1 and no strikes. One of the downsides of this job, your ability to follow Major League Baseball kind of fades away.
Yeah, well, I can tell you with Brock Stassi, I think one of the problems was for him, the Phillies didn't have a definitive role for him. You also had guys like Rhys Hoskins and Nick Williams and others breathing down your neck as maybe bigger named prospects.
1-1 on the swing and a miss. And then Stassi had bounced around. The Twins had him, I know, for a while.
Yep, a little bit last year.
1 ball, 1 strike. Brazaban to the plate, fouled up to the Lexus Suites and back down below on the carom, 1-2. Oscar Brazaban has gone an inning and a third. He's gone to a 3-ball count a couple of times. He gave up a single to David Washington last inning, which got erased on a steal attempt. 1-2 on Affinier. Lyons waits on deck. The motion, Brazaban to the plate, popped up foul again. Affinier gets another. Audi Affinier had a critical base hit in the 9th inning, one game last year off of Anthony Carter, one of the few saves that Carter lost control of. It was just if I remember correctly, a weak base hit up the middle, but created havoc. 1-2, and he almost gets hit.
Oh, man.
Brazoban way inside. Offenir, who just got back off the disabled list, able to get out of harm's way.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a few guys stand up in the Barnstormers bullpen. Hard to see, though, if there's any throwing action going on. I'm going to say no, though. It doesn't look like it from my angle.
Southern Maryland up 7-0 over Somerset tonight at TD Bank Park. The Ducks trying to get back within 2.5. The Barnstormers trying to get the 2.5. Swing and a miss. Down goes Offenir. 2 outs for Huáscar Brazoban here in the 9th. Dan Lyons to the plate, 1 for 3 with a run scored.
Bottom of the lineup due up for both teams. The 7 through 9 for the Ducks and then 7 through 9 for the Barnstormers in the bottom half. But you're 1 out away from just keeping it a 1-run game and a chance to win it in the bottom of the 9th inning. Some Friday night dramatics.
Ross is going to have an interesting decision. You do have Josh Bell back. And if you remember back to last year, if our fans remember, Bell homered his first at-bat of the season in York. Popped up by Lyons. We're going to the bottom of the 9th, down by 1. A 1-2-3 inning for Brazoban as Frias secures that. Can Lancaster come all the way back and get to a 2.5 game lead? We'll know shortly. Frias, Garcia, Bortnick against Francisco Rodriguez coming in. It's 5-4 Long Island.
Learn from the pros right here in Lancaster. The Lancaster Barnstormers are offering 2 3-day-long youth clinics this summer with instruction on pitching, hitting, fielding, and base running. Each session, led by veteran professional players, will last from 9 until noon with lunch to follow. Choose from June 19th to 21st or July 24th to 26th. So learn what it takes to succeed on the field and off. Call the Barnstormers office at 717-509-HITS or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. Space is limited. Act now.
Introducing the all-new Lexus RX 350L, designed for room. Room for a power-folding third row. Room for up to 7. And room for the unexpected. The 3-row RXL. It's the RX with room for more. Experience the innovative RXL and RXL Hybrid. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg.
RX 450HL arriving spring 2018.
One of the great closers in Major League Baseball this millennium, Francisco Rodriguez, has entered action here in the bottom half of the 9th inning, trying to hold a 1-run lead. It is K-Rod Francisco Rodriguez. He owns 437 saves at the Major League level, including a ridiculous 62 for the LA Angels back in 2008.
This is one of those guys, I know this is for mostly Barnstormers fans here, but this is one of those guys you hope they appreciate it and they know who they're getting to see tonight.
He has eclipsed 40 saves 6 different times in his career. And Francisco Rodriguez, now in the Atlantic League, of course, trying to get back. He has saved 9 this year, 2-0, 1.80 ERA.
How many save opportunities?
As far as I know, just 9.
Oh, okay.
He's had
sounds like K-Rod.
He's had a couple against the Barnstormers and converted both, but the last one was shaky. Vladimir Frias leading off here against him. Frias, first pitch swinging, drives at the center, backing up on it Bonifacio to make the catch for out number 1. It's going to take a miracle here. Frias had singled off of K-Rod. Now he's out, 1 away. Carlos Garcia will come to the plate. And Rodriguez, I don't think has the velocity he used to have, but he does still have absolutely filthy breaking pitches. You got Garcia, like Rodriguez, a native of Venezuela. 1 out, nobody on. Tyler Bortnick on deck. Boy, if you're Ross Peoples, do you roll the dice and go to Josh Bell? To Garcia, he bunts, but right back to the hill. That's 2 pitches, 2 outs. And that has ramifications.
baseman Tyler Bortnick.
Bortnick is going to step in. JB's coaching third.
We've talked about this effort. The Barnstormers have not went away, but you're almost giving it to them right here.
Yeah, 2 pitches, 2 outs. And that allows Rodriguez, who often doesn't pitch back-to-back games, to get out there tomorrow night if Bortnick doesn't do something to extend this inning.
Rain has finally begun to fall here. We're lucky, though, that we made it this far. It was a good paced game. That's helped us. But the way that the rain forecast was coming in, it worked out.
Bortnick gets a ball inside, 1-0.
The rain was falling before the game, and we're supposed to have some late-night rainfall tonight. Forecast tomorrow's looking
a lot of rain expected early in the day.
Yeah.
Hopefully out of here by late afternoon. That's the way they're calling it. To Bortnick, 1-0 pitch. Ball 2 is low, 2-0. The on-deck batter is Anderson De La Rosa. He is the catcher, and he has not batted here tonight. 2-0 to Bortnick. He had a single and scored a run back in the 7th inning. Lancaster down to a final hope tonight. There's a strike. It is 2-1.
Have to tip your hat sometimes, right? Really good pitching tonight across the board for this team.
Here's the motion to Bortnick, 2-1. Chopper in the infield. Charging the play is Puckett. He'll throw on the run, and Long Island is held on for the 5-4 victory here this evening. The Barnstormers hole a little too deep early on. Long Island pitches a great ball game, so the Barnstormers do not lose any ground tonight. Sugar Land lost as well. We'll be back with the wrap-up show coming your way next. Our final score this evening, Long Island 5 and Lancaster 4.
Like craft beers, local wines? Well, the best place to be in Lancaster then is Clipper Magazine Stadium. That's right, all new for 2018 is the Broken Bat deck down the right field line. The Broken Bat will feature more than 20 local craft breweries and product from 2 local wineries. If something with a little more kick is your adult beverage of choice, a local distillery is part of the Broken Bat as well. Food will be sold off a pub-style menu, so get together, hang out with your friends, make some new ones, and enjoy a night of craft beer sampling along with a Barnstormers game.
AMT Concerts presents Rock at the Park Festival, Saturday, July 21st, featuring sets from Fuel, Eve 6, Sister Hazel, Long Beach Dub All-Stars, Fastball, and more. Rock at the Park, Saturday, July 21st, at Clipper Magazine Stadium, Lancaster. Tickets on sale now at rockatthepark.com.
Welcome back from Clipper Magazine Stadium. The Lancaster Barnstormers pull off a thrilling comeback tonight, but they can't quite get all the way there and fall to the Long Island Ducks 5-4 in the second game of a 4-game series. When these two ball clubs get together, you can always expect excitement, and it's exactly what we had here this evening as the Ducks win 5-4. It's the 6th one-run game between the Barnstormers and the Ducks here in 2018. Out of 8 games played, and the season series stands tied at 4 each. Long Island, 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors, and 4 left tonight. And for the Barnstormers, 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 error, and 5 men left on base. Bennett Perry gets the win. He is the league's top pitcher so far this season. He is 4-0. He struck out 11 more tonight. The Barnstormers, only the second team in his last 7 starts to even get 2 runs on the board against the left-hander. He is 4-0 on the season. Joe Gardner takes the loss. He is 3-4. Francisco Rodriguez saves his 10th. here in the Atlantic League. A home run in the first inning, Emilio Bonifacio just reaching the top of the 10 in right field, his first home run of the year. And then with a man aboard in the 7th inning, Blake Galen, who was most of the offense for the Barnstormers here tonight, his 12th home run of the season. Galen driving in 3 out of the 4 Barnstormers runs here this evening. The league leader, 12 home runs and 49 runs batted in, 9 homers and 24 ribbies for Blake in the last 17 ball games. 2 hours, 39 minutes. The time of our game here tonight, 5,027, the crowd on this damp Friday here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. It looked like it could be a blowout for the Ducks early on tonight. They struck for 3 runs in the top half of the first inning. Jordani Valdespin reached on an error leading off and then was thrown out trying to steal. The Barnstormers had a chance to reboot the inning, but that's when Bonifacio took the starter Joe Gardner for a lob shot up onto the deck. The Ducks with the 1-0 lead. That's not what did it. It was the rest of the inning that did. Travis Snyder picked up a walk. Then Lou Ford grounded a single into left field. Runners at first and second with 1 out. David Washington wrapped the single into right field, getting the 2nd run of the inning home. And then a series of circumstances where if the Barnstormers, who generally played very well defensively tonight, certainly after the first inning, there were a couple of plays where Gardner could have gotten out of the inning with just 2 runs. Taylor Ard hit a smash. Vladimir Frias made a wonderful stop up the middle. But instead of making sure of 1 out, he tried to hurry the play and get the double play started. Ard doesn't run all that well, and he made this rushed feed to Tyler Bortnick. He couldn't get anything on it. The ball rolled away. The bases then loaded. Then Cody Puckett hit a ground ball to Carlos Garcia at third base. Looked like it had a chance to be an inning-ending double play. However, after the throw to second base for 1, Tyler Bortnick had some trouble getting the ball out of his glove, it appeared. The 3rd run of the inning scored. You either get 1 out on the Ard ground ball or 2 outs on the Puckett ground ball. That's a 2-run inning, not a 3-run inning. And at the time you didn't know if it would matter, but when you end up losing by a run, all those little things come together. And the bottom half of the second rolled around. We've talked at length tonight about what a great season Bennett Perry is having. Well, the Barnstormers looked like they were going to break through against him. Trayvon Robinson walked, and Casey Hobson planted a double into the alley out in right center field. Lancaster had men at second and third with nobody out. They couldn't score at all, and the Ducks were willing to concede a run there. However, Perry picked up 3 out of his 11 strikeouts in the game in succession, freezing the Barnstormers. A 2-out run scored in the top of the 3rd inning as Audi Affinir doubled into the left field corner, driving in Taylor Ard. Cody Puckett thrown out at the plate on a very close play to end that inning with the Ducks up 4-0. The Barnstormers picked up a run on a 2-out RBI bloop single by Ryan Castile in the bottom of the 3rd, scoring Darian Sanford from second. Lancaster started to fight back, though, in the 5th inning with 2 outs. Sanford singled into center, stole second, went to third on a wild pitch and scored when Blake Galen lined a base hit, eventually a double into left field. It was at that point 4-2. A very necessary insurance run for the Ducks scored in the top half of the 7th inning. Dan Lyons leading off, able to hit a high bouncer over the head of the third baseman, Carlos Garcia, who was playing up to take away the bunt. Leadoff man aboard, and then Jordani Valdespin, after barely missing inside the third base line on a hit-and-run play, blooped a single into center. Runners ended up at first and third. That would be it for Gardner tonight. John Anderson came in. He got 3 outs on 4 pitches, but the first of those outs was a double-play ground ball. Lions scored what proved to be the deciding run here tonight. Blake Galen's 2-run homer in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Not enough, and then the Long Island bullpen ran the table from there. 7 consecutive batters retired, including Colton Murray striking out the side in the bottom of the 8th inning. The damage to the Barnstormers' first half title hopes, not too great tonight because Sugar Land also lost.
Right.
And as I had mentioned earlier, it was actually better for the Barnstormers if both teams lost tonight than if both teams won, because Sugar Land is playing a division game, that second tiebreaker is up for grabs. It's division record, and any loss that Sugar Land gets to York helps the Barnstormers' cause. If York wins 3 games in 6, then the Barnstormers have that second tiebreaker, which will come into play if Lancaster goes 3-4 at Sugar Land next week.
Yeah, it's one of those weird sort of math clauses when you try to figure out, okay, what do we need to win? What do we need to lose? Why do we need to lose? But as you point that out, you know what? That all being said, Barnstormers come in with the effort to win today, and it's just one of those things where you thought it was going to get away from them early, but as you mentioned, the theme here tonight, simply come back, fall short. It was a good effort by this team. The 9th inning, I don't know. I think K-Rod might have been gift-wrapped this one a little bit, the pitch selection, whatever it was. But at the same time, you tip your cap. 15 strikeouts against the Barnstormers tonight, and just some excellent pitching. I mean, Wander Perez did give up the 2-run shot from Galen, but aside from that, this Long Island team is sort of similar, not entirely, but somewhat to the New Britain Bees, and a team that has just come on strong as of late. They're a tough team to beat. Barnstormers got him yesterday, but the Ducks tied up today, and it will be interesting tomorrow because from what I understand, we have another good pitching matchup.
5-4, the Long Island Ducks tonight. Elsewhere in the Atlantic League, York over Sugar Land by a final score of 4-1, and that does help the Barnstormers out. Lancaster retains a lead of a game and a half. Robert Carson now in the rotation for the Revs, picking up the win. 7 shutout innings for Carson this evening. Michael Burgess drives in 3 in the victory for the Revolution this evening. So the Barnstormers now will again wake up in first place tomorrow, and they will do it again on Sunday. And hopefully once they get to Sugar Land on Monday, the Barnstormers will still be holding on to first place. Remember, we can't be tied barring rain coming out of the weekend because of the rain out against the Road Warriors. We'll make that up on the 3rd of July. Elsewhere, New Britain over the Road Warriors tonight, 3-2. Southern Maryland shuts out Somerset 7-0. The Ducks are able to pick up a game in the Liberty Division race. That is critical for them because Long Island starting tonight down 3.5 and short on the tiebreaker against Somerset. So nothing will get lopped off the Ducks' tragic number this evening. It will stay right where it was coming into tonight. Somerset with the magic number of 10 to eliminate Long Island from the first half race, and not mathematically eliminated yet, the New Britain Bees. They may not pull it out in the first half. Watch for them in the second half. What's going on the Major League scoreboard, Andrew?
Well, the Phillies are just dominating the Washington Nationals right now. They are up 10-2. Odubel Herrera with a home run. Carlos Santana adding on. Top of the 8th inning right now. That's where the score stands, and the Phillies adding that 9th and 10th run in this 8th inning. So all sorts of chaos at Nationals Park. Elsewhere, the Mets took a 5-2 loss to the Los Angeles Dodgers, a team on the uprise, while the Mets need to start thinking if maybe this is a rebuild or not and looking at trading some of their chips. The Pittsburgh Pirates and Arizona Diamondbacks, that is still going, and a scoreless tilt as of right now. My computer is being weird with the internet once more, but Pirates and, yep, there it is, the Pirates and Diamondbacks still 0-0. They're in the 11th inning right now, so extras, if you like good pitching, you probably have it there. Cincinnati Reds take a 6-3 win over the Cubs. They have been very good lately. Reds underestimated with Scooter Gennett. Mariners, a 10-9 lead over the Boston Red Sox in the 7th inning. You need that many runs if you want to beat Boston, as good as they have been. The Yankees, on the other hand, they're known for explosive offense. Not right now. They're trailing the Tampa Bay Rays 2-1. That game is through 7. Indians up over the Tigers 3-0 in the 5th. The Orioles and Braves are in a 1-1 deadlock in the 8th inning. Texas Rangers over the Minnesota Twins 4-1 in the 6th. The Royals and Astros are scoreless through 6. Cardinals a 1-0 lead over the first place NL Central Brewers 1-0. The Oakland A's trail by 3 runs. It's a 5-2 lead for the Chicago White Sox in the 7th. Marlins are down in the 4th inning, 5-1 against the Rockies. This is going to be a historically bad year for Miami. And still a couple of games yet to get underway. The Toronto Blue Jays and Los Angeles Angels, along with the San Diego Padres at the San Francisco Giants.
The Lancaster Barnstormers fall 5-4 to the Long Island Ducks tonight. All 4 Long Island wins in the season series have been by 1 run, 3 6-5s, and the 5-4 decision tonight. More great baseball between these two ball clubs in store tomorrow night. Jake Fisher 3-1, Jonathan Albaladejo 5-2 are the opposing starters. 6:30 the game time. Hopefully this overnight rain and morning rain will be out of the way before we go to get underway tomorrow night. We've got fireworks following the game. Farm Show weekend continues here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. So if you can't make it out to the ballpark, be sure you're tuned in here. Andrew and I will be with you beginning at 6:15 with the Gockenauer Home Appliances Dugout Report. The Texas trip is coming up. The first half is coming down to that series. The Barnstormers and Sugar Land start 7 on Monday. Right now, Lancaster continues to lead the division by 1.5 games. So until tomorrow, for my partner Andrew Mossbrooks, for Joey Greer, for all the cast and crew here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, I'm Dave Collins. Have a great evening, everyone, and we'll see you at the ballpark.